Yes, people, welcome to another edition of the Talk About It Network special, the March edition on Sarcasm City TV, hosted by myself, Flawless Mr. Take Note, and I'm joined by three of the other members of the Talk About It Network. I almost wrapped up, but that was a great save on that. I almost tripped past that. You know what I'm saying? And I saved that phenomenally. I'm very proud of myself. So as you can see to my right, I don't know if it's my left or your right, long-haired Linda representing Pod of Mercy. How are you doing, Linda?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thanks. How have you recovered from everything? I know.
Yeah, man. Caught COVID, but you know, I'm amazing, so I was fine. And but in all seriousness, I'm very grateful.
I'm amazing. We're not bypassing.
I'm amazing. That. No. It was amazing that I wasn't super ill. I was still working from home. I felt great, and I'm very grateful, and my body is amazing.
Okay, that's great. I didn't know if you was talking about you just being amazing in general.
I was, but it felt no, I was, but then it felt kind of like I read the room and I was like, let me clean that up a little bit.
No, we just agreed. Like,
we agreed. You get me? I was just shocked by it, innit? But hey, Linda, mush your gun all you want. You know what I'm saying? And you do what you need to do. And of course, here representing the Red Lion Picture Gang, two-thirds of the Red Lion Picture, Mike and Alan. We'll start with you first and foremost, Mike. How you doing? Everything blessed?
I'm half caught and in trauma of our live about an hour ago. Like still.
But are you drunk or inebriated, Mike? Which one?
Both. Well, half of both. Half of both makes a full, like a unit. I'm a unit. There you go.
I'm a unit.
I'm a unit. There you go. Let's go. There we go.
All right, that's good.
I would never have called you a unit, bro. But like if you say that, then it's okay.
All right, okay. I can see where this is going already. We're only 2 minutes in, and the talented one, Alan, the talent. What are you saying? Are you blessed? Everything?
I am absolutely good. Yeah. It's been the same before the live. It's been a rough month. March has been interesting. But yeah, I'm good. I'm drinking the last hour or so on the Red Light. Well, I think it was the shortest episode we've done.
Easily.
Country fucking mile. Just because we was just like, we just need to go now. This needs to
it isn't getting any better.
It just needs to end. Shambles.
I mean, Mike, shambles. Don't stop, man. Rafi laugh, don't stop. I mean, your laugh is the funniest shit in the world.
You should have seen the live. You'd understand.
Yeah. Don't start that Rafi laugh, yo. You had me in tears last month when we did the February edition. Don't start. Don't start, man.
Probably the only time I'll ever say this, but don't go and watch it. Like,
never.
Next week when regular scheduled programming resumes, I just don't.
When I'm the drunkest one.
Yeah. I hear that. But everyone's blessed, and if you're new to the show, actually, before I even get into that, you already know what to do. Whether you're new or you're regular, hit the like button on the video. Make sure you do that. Make sure you share it across all the socials and subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV. And make sure when you subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also sub to Red Lion Picture. Don't just make sure you don't watch their next live. You know what I'm saying? And make sure you subscribe to Pod of Mercy. At some point, Linda will be bringing that back. I'm not sure when. But she'll be bringing it back. That wasn't a shot. That was just, I like a steer in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? And,
I'm getting myself together.
You are. Right? Long hair don't care, Linda. We love it. You know what I'm saying? And that. Let's go. But yeah, if you're new to the show, the Talk About It Network special, it's obviously a podcast network, and Sarcasm City, Pod of Mercy, and Red Lion Picture are all podcasts on the network. So the mashup we do is just all the free podcasts coming together, and we just wrap up the month of March. Normally you'll get it the last Friday or Saturday of the month, but because everybody wasn't about, we decided to do it Good Friday. So you're getting the March edition now. So we're going to run through it. We're going to get waved. Like I say at the start of every Sarcasm City podcast, if you're easily offended, this podcast is not you. I'm telling you. Talk About It Network special gets wild. This is why we only do one a month. Because if we did this weekly, we'd probably get cancelled. So
it's just not healthy. Just for our bodies, like we need a whole month to recover.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. So yeah,
trauma.
Fact. And it's non-sport as well, people. So it's a non-sport in podcasting. So we just run through the current affairs from that month that Linda puts together exceptionally. Like I said, without her, this show does not go ahead. I'm telling you now. Mm-hmm. Literally, the rest of us are just here to drink. That's what it is. Literally, look at my facts heavily. I will get to the comments also, but all right, Linda, you can kick us off with the first topic.
Well, listen, March has been a month. Okay, so March was Women's History Month, International Women's History Month, and it just felt like every single day, like at the moment. With social media in general, things move really, really fast. And then, of course, since lockdown, because it's everyone's at home, it's like stories move by really, really quick. And it just felt like there was just something new constantly. But March felt especially full of fuckery. So the drinking game I decided that we were going to play for this edition so that we could get through it is called the Silver Linings drinking game, and I made it up, so don't Google.
So you're gonna win.
No, I'm gonna win. No, so I literally just made it up because I was going through the topics and I was adding the last few bits at the end of the month on Wednesday, and I was like, all right, this is too depressing. There's it's going to be hard to find the funny in this. So the Silver Linings drinking game is every single time one of us can find the silver linings in one of the topics that I talk about, that I bring up, that we all talk about, we can do a shot or drink from a drink if you don't have something you can shot. Nice and easy. Is everyone cool with that?
I'm cool with that.
What we're saying is a silver lining, just a crash joke.
Can make it up as we go. No. So something that we can pull from the topic that is a silver lining that we all agree, yep, let's drink to that.
Yeah, cool. The thing is, one thing about us, one thing we do with our jokes is we're very creative and we will find the silver lining.
I mean, this is the crowd. This is the crowd to do it in. This crowd right here is the crowd to do it in. And you guys in the audience, anybody watching, whether you're watching live or on the replay, go grab a drink, or it doesn't have to be an alcoholic drink, whatever. Just play along. And hopefully we can find some silver linings in all the bullshit that happened in March 2021. Okay, so I'm going to start off real depressing, but I'm going to move on quickly from it because I wanted to bring it up, but I just don't want to stay on it too long if you guys don't mind. As of the 22nd of March, so as of last Monday, there were already been 102 mass shootings in the United States in 2021. So since January 1st to March 22nd, 102 mass shootings. That's not shootings. That's not shooting deaths. That's mass shootings. So America's basically back fully open on their crud again. And it's really, really fucking disappointing to see that even while the pandemic is still going, I know that very many states are, back to normal-ish. I know that things are going back to normal, but the fact that even amidst everything that's been going on, the mass shootings, it's just like they've just resumed as if nothing happened, is crazy to me. Like, it's a problem that they're just not willing to deal with at all. They're just not willing to deal with it.
No, they can't manage it. No. They just can't.
Yeah, but it's like, to me, it's like, how are you ever going to manage a problem? It's like, if you go to the doctors, right, there's something wrong with your body. You can feel pain somewhere in your body and you get a scan and the scan prints out the imaging of, whatever part of your body has been scanned, and you can pinpoint and the doctor can diagnose it so you can get treatment. If the scan is faulty or if they just can't be asked, you're never going to diagnose a problem, therefore you're never going to fix it. And in the States, to me, gun control feels like one of those issues that they are just never, ever going to acknowledge that it is a problem, what is going on right now. Like, the people in power, the people actually in charge, are just never, ever acknowledging that there is a problem so that they can actually start to fix it. Like, there's just too much money involved. There's just too much lobbying involved. There's too much going on over there. There's too much money to be made from the sale of guns at the end of the day for them to ever do anything about it. And it's a mess that in in 3 months, 102 mass shootings. That's just, why is that your normal as a country?
That's one a day. That's right. Just slightly more than one a day.
Like,
every day since the new year. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's definitely nothing silver linings with that. Like, it's ridiculous.
And you know what? Sorry, go on, Mike.
I was going to say, the one thing I have learned after this lot is the thing about the Second Amendment is being preached as a fraud. Like the right to an armed militia is been misinterpreted by the NRA, and I only learned that recently. So I've only learned that recently. I would hope that means more people are learning about that, and change would come because the left is getting stronger. That's all I'm thinking. So shots.
Silver. I like what you did.
Okay.
I like what you did. Okay. Silver lining.
So drinks to education.
Shots of Kraken spice rum. If I pass out before the end of the show, you know why.
I haven't got any hard liquor, so I just knocked my drink back.
Huh?
I've not got any hard liquor, so that's now empty. Sorry. I'm not sorry.
This is going to be a long night for Alan. Okay.
I really don't know why I said sorry. Like,
sorry, I'm not sorry, but sorry.
As if I'm sorry, I'm drinking. Like that's a fucking lie, isn't it?
Facts.
It's what, and you know what? America is moving mad, but you know what? It's not unique in it. We move very, very mad. If you want to hear us, me and Mike in particular, rant about what the hell has been going on with our politics in this ridiculous country that we call home, you can tune in tomorrow to Sarcasm City site, or the Sarcasm City channel, sorry. You'll have what's politic, if I can get it. Oh my God, guys.
What's politicking you off?
What's
politicking? It's going to be a long show. What's politicking you off at 3:00, live at 3:00 tomorrow. If you want to tune in to us discussing the Sewell report, if you want to hear us talking about what the hell's been going on over the last 2 weeks, it's episode 2 of the show tomorrow at 3 right here on the Sarcasm City channel. So let us move on.
UK time, people. 3 p.m. UK time.
Sorry, yes.
Okay. We international now, innit? We have to let them know.
International. 3 p.m. BST. We're in British summertime now, right? Yeah, 3 p.m. BST, which is GMT +1. Cool. Okay.
I will say as well for that show, like, politics is not my thing, but I genuinely watched the episodes and was just like, shit, I feel like I learned something. Like, it's entertaining. And there's a really nice dynamic between the four of you that's just kind of lovely to watch and really easy to watch. And then I felt like I learned some shit as well, which is like, so yeah, to put it on, listen, watch, whatever. Like, it's fucking cool. Like, tune in.
I'm calling that a silver lining.
Yeah, all-star line. That's a gold line.
That's not a topic.
Yeah,
I'm just having a drink, not a shot for that one.
Mike's just drinking, man.
That's amazing. I agree with you, Alan. Like, it's an all-star lineup on that. Like, when I was putting it together, I was like, right, this is fire. You know what I'm saying? And then the people really gravitated towards the show in the comments. Because obviously I was on the move in the comments and I was like, they fucking with the show. All right, let's go.
Just intelligent people talking real sense. It's just it's fucking refreshing. Don't shake your head, Linda, like you're not intelligent.
No, she's talking about me.
Intelligence is relative. It's not, intelligence, actually, I don't think is a real thing, but that's an argument for another time. No, but seriously, I do appreciate you saying that, because I was actually looking at some of the stuff that's been going on in the last 2 weeks, thinking about the topics for politicking. And I was just like, I really hope that we can at least, because I know it's not easy. Like, if you're not genuinely interested in it, you're not going to go look for these stories and look for what's going on and keep abreast of that information and know where you need to be. And because, like we were just saying before, life is moving so fast, right? So much is going on at once. And I appreciate that if that's not something that you had a lot of interest in before and you're just getting into it now and you know that you need to do something, but you have no idea what, and you're just like, I hope that this can be a resource where you can like tune in every other Saturday and just chill with us for a bit, and hopefully some information goes in that's a little bit helpful, at least, that gives you, just an idea of what you can be doing if you feel like you need to do something but have no idea what to do. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of a guideline.
And Mesway, to this comment, you said this show could get messy. Obviously, I know this is your first time watching the show. This show does get messy. This is why we do this once a month. And that. Love to everybody in the comments, though. Big up all you lot. Like I said,
keep seeing them going. Appreciate you guys commenting, man.
Love to you lot in the comments, man. Yo, the Sarcasm City Army is on point. Well, I'll let you carry on.
It's a great fan base. Okay, so I want to stick to politics real quick, but it's not in this country, and it's not in the US either. So former French President Nicolas Sarkozy, I don't know if you saw this, he was sentenced to 3 years for corruption this month. So 2 years was a suspended sentence, and then the option to serve 1 year under house arrest. The reason I added it to this was because it's rare that former leaders, like former presidents, get actually, or at least in this part of the world, get actually arrested and charged and convicted of crimes, because they're just always corrupt in general. And you just think, oh, well, that's just what they're supposed to do. So it's rare to see that happen. So that was the first thing that popped up in my head. I was like, oh yeah, he did get charged, and holy cow, they did convict him, and now he's been sentenced. And then I looked at the sentence and I was like, 2 years suspended, which means you don't have to do it. 1 year, you can choose whether you want house. Is this a fucking hotel? Are we at a Marriott? Or you can just choose, I want this suite, for.
He's going to.
Fuck.
It's going to be because they just class it Joe the lockdown year, and so he served that, so he'll be out free at the end of it.
But 1 year option to choose whether you want house arrest or not. Are other people that are stealing money getting that option? Because corruption is stealing money, no? Corruption is stealing money. Corruption is stealing public funds, misuse of public funds, which is stealing money from people, right? That's basically what it is. So if you're stealing money, if I go right now and just go rob a bank real quick, which I'm surprised, by the way, as a side note, I'm so surprised that in this year where we've all been wearing masks, no one has just rocked up in a COVID mask to rob a bank. It's amazing. But anyway, sorry. Because I was just going to say, when I was buying beer today in Asda, literally the woman just stared at me. It was fucking really uncomfortable just to figure out if I was over 18. This forehead and eyes clearly look over 18. You don't need to look at me hard like that. That's mad. Do you know what's mad? Speaking about getting ID'd for alcohol, is I always get ID'd, right? Which before I was like, this is great. I'm still getting ID'd. They think I'm under 25. Oh my God. And because if you look under 25, they ID you to make sure you're over 18. That's the rule. So every time I get ID'd, I'm like, yes, this is amazing. Well, the other day I got ID'd again, and I had my mask on, and I was like, in my head, every time I've been ID'd, because it's been a few times, I've been ID'd a lot less since this COVID thing has happened, because I think they're just like, get out, whatever you just buy, get out. To be fair, I don't even blame them. Retail staff have had to work through this whole thing. They're just like, I don't care. I just take what, don't even pay for it, just leave. Right? So it's very rare that I've been ID'd during this
Someone's
pandemic.
defo going to do what Linda said about the bank. That's what Mesway's saying, isn't it? Yeah, that's what someone's going to definitely saying it.
Don't drop my name. I didn't suggest it. I just made an observation. The few times I've been ID'd, they just look at my ID, look at my eyes really intensely, and then they just go, okay, right? Well, the other day, the woman told me, can you pull down your mask so I can see your face? I was like, hang on, I've got to breathe COVID air for you to make sure that I'm like, really? Yeah. And so she was just like, so I had to kind of go put it back so she could ID.
COVID. That's ridiculous.
So weird, but they do stare you right in the eyes. It's so weird.
Fucking uncomfortable. I'm not okay with that kind of intimacy with a stranger.
I know.
I am though. Weirdly, staring back.
What a surprise! What a surprise!
Anyway,
you looking at you prick.
Is that your go-to? Is to get angry if they look at you?
Someone stares at me. Yeah, mug.
Well, so yeah, the Sarkozy story, the reason I brought it up, it was just like, it's just so interesting to me that when you're rich and powerful, you can steal money and then get the option of house arrest if you want. Do what you want for a year. What do you fancy doing? Just like picking something. And I just want it to make sense. I just want things to make sense on this planet, and they just never seem to make sense, and it drives my brain crazy. But a former French president was convicted and sentenced, despite how shit the sentencing was, sentenced of corruption. And I think that is something to celebrate when politicians actually held it there. There is hope.
Let's go.
So
we'll drink to that.
We'll drink to that, and Mike can drink when he gets back. Do you know what's really bad? This rum is very nice.
Yeah, you're about to get mash up in it.
This rum is very, very nice. And I'm worried. I'm very worried about what's going to happen on this show.
Yeah,
you're gonna waste your beautiful rum on just not tasting it and shotting it.
No, but that's the thing. Like, it's going down so smooth.
Yeah, she's enjoying it.
My instinct is for my face to go when I take a shot, and then I'm actually drinking it, and I'm like, I'm fine. Like, this is great.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm like with most shots, though, because I've
missed a shot.
Yeah. So you have to do 2 now. No, and again, you missed it.
Oh my God! So if someone's like gone to the loo while we're doing a shot, they have to do 2. That's a good rule.
Oh crap! Because then someone's gonna try and accelerate getting a silver lining.
Yeah.
As soon as someone's camera goes off, I'll be like,
right, find it.
Okay, guys.
That's why I'm glad I've got a cast iron bladder. Cool.
So, okay. So last month, so when we did the February special, I think if memory serves, again, tequila. I kind of just very quickly brought up the whole T.I. allegation situation because I didn't want to go too deep into it because we didn't have that much information. Nothing had actually been in terms of, being arrested or charged or anything like that. Nothing like that had happened. So I didn't want to harp on it too much. But since then, production on the show that Tiny does with his family, so T.I. does with his family, so T.I. and Tiny Family Hustle has been halted. The production's been halted for that, and T.I. won't be returning to Ant-Man 3 due to these allegations. So it's wild. Yeah, he's been taken off the movie. Marvel don't play, first of all. Marvel do not play with any kind of controversy. You are out fast.
Yeah, you say they too big of a juggernaut of a franchise to be dealing with that. I
understand. Tied with Disney, these allegations are way too serious to be when you're tied with Disney. Like if you're if the allegations involve the, allegedly, drugging, coercing, possibly raping women, keeping women like from leaving, that type of stuff, like especially young women. There's even if it's not true, just the mere rumor of it. There's no way Marvel can keep you, especially not if they're with Disney. It's just not going to happen. So there's a lot, man. These allegations are wild. Like as I said, it's rape, kidnapping, drugging.
That's mad.
It's a lot going on. Tiny's been implicated as well, like they were doing it together, or that she was helping to coerce the girls to stay a bit longer for him. Like, again, this is all alleged. Absolutely nothing has been proved. I'm not saying it's true or that I believe it. It's just the allegations are wild. Very, very wild story. But that was something that was a development in March, was that the production on their show had halted. We don't know if it's coming back. Not sure what's going on with that. And that T.I. has been removed from Ant-Man 3.
Mad.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
that's
wild. All right, so I'm going to get your opinions now on the next one. Meghan and Harry on.
Here it goes.
Get to the good stuff.
Here we go.
Yeah.
This gonna be interesting.
This was a smooth 5 days into Women's Month. Was it 5 days? Yeah, 5th of March.
Yeah.
The interview went out. I didn't even write that down. That is from memory. Guys, if you guys know me, you know how bad my memory is. That was amazing. All right. Did you guys watch the interview? What did you think? I want to start with you, Flawless.
I didn't watch the interview, but obviously I heard about on Twitter. Obviously, that's the information hub. So they was talking about the main talking points that happened, that the royal family had concerns about the darkness of the baby. And obviously that's the biggest talking point that came out of it. And I was like, what do you mean you had concerns in it? It sounds a little bit racist. You know what I'm saying? That's where I was going with that. Just a little bit racist is what I got from that. Just a touch. Somebody said, because there's no defending that. Like, what do you mean you had concerns? What was the concern? And then what I loved, what social media does, and JV made a great point. He was literally, shout out to Bits and Bobs, he was on his channel, and he was like, social media is the angel and the devil. And what I loved about this is that social media span that. And the way they was talking about, is the baby called Archie, is that correct? Yeah,
Archie.
Mm-hmm. Archie. And it's like, what did they expect? All the memes and people talking about, they expected Archie to come out and he was showing like Black Panther and just like,
hold on, is that a silver lining? Is that a silver lining?
That is a silver lining. There we go. Yeah,
silver lining to me, guys.
Silver lining, all that. Yeah, all that type of stuff, all the memes that came out of it, all the jokes. But yeah, all jokes aside, though, the fact that they had concerns and the rest of it, they didn't really tell us anything that I believe we didn't know. I'm someone who doesn't really follow the royal family like that, but I wasn't shocked by it. It's just the fact that they didn't say who had concerns. I'm like, right, if you're gonna do the tell all interview with Oprah, tell all. Like, don't hold back. Don't say, oh, such and such. Say it, because you've already left at this point. So if you're gonna leave properly. So yeah, that was my thoughts on it pretty much. And that we already know what the royal family's like. No shock. Mm-hmm.
What about you, Alan? What did you think? Did you watch it? And what did you think?
I didn't watch it. It's just.
Oh God, I'm so scared about what's going to come out of his mouth.
No, because it shocked me, but not for the reasons why you think it's going to shock me. Because I was like, so they're expressing concerns about the fact that how dark they think this royal baby is going to be. So right, okay. So he's going to be possibly sort of like 1/4 black. That's about as dark as he's going to be. But no one's concerned that he's like essentially 1/16 Nazi. That's what you're focusing on. So if you're gonna go ratios on it.
I said 1/16 Nazi. I'm still trying to do the math.
But that's it. But like, if we're gonna go ratios about that, bro. If we are going, because literally I was contemplating, because I knew it was going to come up on here, so I was contemplating watching it.
Alan, we're not going to bypass like you just didn't do a fraction on the spot like that. That was crazy.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
It might not, like 1/16 would put his nana as a Nazi, so that's probably not it. So it's like 1/32 or 1/32 Nazi, because it was the Queen's granddad or whatever. But like. We've just bypassed that. We've just gone, let's focus on the black thing and forget about the Nazis that are in our family. Like, what the fuck? Shut up. So that's what I took away from it.
Mike is finished. I love it, yo. Wait, when Mike is finished, where's the raspy laugh, fam? Come on, fam. You get me? Bring it out. Where's the raspy laugh? Yeah, the comments are liking it as well. Brilliantly.
Am I lying, though?
And he's laughing.
Show me the lie.
What a say.
It says 1/16. No comment. Even Sav is busting up. Big up Sav also. Everyone busted up. Oh man, yeah. They forget there's been a black royal before. Sasha's also laughing. Everyone's busted up. I told you, like, this show's wild. 20, even half an hour in, and honestly, someone just said they're concerned about the baby might be black, but they're 1/16.
Not worried about it being 1/16 Nazi. Actually, more like 1/32, 1/30. Like, mate. Let me just say, this is exactly why I love Alan, because you see the way, for me, it's not always what he says, it's his delivery. He's saying it like it's the most normal thing ever to just say, and everyone is losing it because they're like, do you hear the words coming out your mouth?
Hear the words coming out of your mouth.
And he's just looking at you like, what did I say? Am I lying?
You know what it is? Because he's got that dry delivery. That's why that you don't know the joke is coming. Like when I'm telling a joke, you know the joke's coming. You can see like a mile off, and Alan just delivered that straight.
Because the way I look at the situation is, if you're going to analyze data, and if you're going to look at the fact that we might one day have a black royal, or that it might be a
you're going to analyze data.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to look at it in an analytical way, then you have to analyze all the data. You can't just
the fact that they're more inbred than Nazi should be more of an issue.
But this is very much the problem with our country, is that we look at the facts of a situation just from a certain viewpoint. We don't go, let's look at all the different facts and all the different data and everything that's gone on in the past and analyse it properly. We just focus on one thing that we want the country to get behind or support or not support, and that's what we focus on, and that's the only information we give them. So,
I agree with you on that, actually, Alan, because I found myself in the last few months, well, longer than that probably, but in the last few months with conversations with my colleagues specifically, because they're the only in-person conversations I've had, pandemic and all that. But like with these conversations, I find myself saying the same phrase over and over again. Two things can be true at the same time. And I think the reason I'm having to say that over and over again, irrespective of what the conversation is actually about, is because we are very, or definitely become more of, but as humans, we are very like focused on the one thing, whether it's the wrong thing or the right thing. We can only seem to just have this for our attention for this. Do you know what I mean? We can only focus as a people on this one thing. And it is, you're right, with Meghan and Harry, it was the sensationalism of it all. It was the, oh my God, who was talking about how dark Archie was going to be? And not, like you say, can we look at the past of the royal family? Are we really worried about this? It's inbred. There's literally Nazis in the family. Like,
that's mad.
There's literally a point within the Queen's career where her uncle wanted to overthrow the government with the Queen's permission and have like a military coup, because the military sign allegiance to the Queen, not to the government. So he wanted to overthrow Parliament. That's her uncle. Like, the fuck? And you care about the fact that you like the baby of Prince, who's nowhere near going to be heir to the throne, might be slightly tanned. What the fuck? Just like, fuck off.
And have you seen the baby as well? It's not even like
I think that's the point. Is that's not even the point. Look at all of the shit you lot are doing as a family, right? As an
this is what you focus on.
Look at all the shit that you have been doing, and look at, even if we just didn't look at any of that stuff and just went to the fucking jewelry cabinet and have a look at where those jewels came from. Who the hell did you steal all these artifacts from? What happened to those people that actually created these things, or the lands that these things came from? What happens to the Commonwealth? We just got this nice little word for Commonwealth, like, oh, we've got the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, like everyone wanted to be a part of it.
The countries you literally went over, raped, killed, and pillaged. Is that what you mean when you say Commonwealth? Are we having some fucking Commonwealth Games now about it? We're all playing a few sports now. Is everything all right? Yeah, are we just cool with that? Okay, great. All right. I guess I'll get over it then. It's like, wow. It's a specific brand of racism in this country, right? We always like to look at America at how like in your face it is and how crazy it is. But in this country, it's always so like
gaslighting.
Worse. The gaslighting makes it worse, because it's not just we're going to steal your land and then going to steal your resources and then continue to keep our fingers in your land and then encourage corruption because that still makes us money, and then sell you guys weapons for when you ultimately fight each other because that still makes us money, while taking your food and resources from you, while having corporations set up there and still making money from you in any way, whether it's through your labor or through your resources or through whatever we can get. And then we're going to invite you to play some Commonwealth Games. Your best and your brightest to come over and have a little thing. Then we're going to say to you, oh my God, your country is ridiculous. Let's set up this treaty, right, where you can apply for asylum when you can come over here and have a better life. And then you come over here to try and have a better life, and they say to you, no, deported, we're not having you in. Or you actually get in, and they go, no, you have to pay like £15 million for any type of visa that you want. And then they go, all right, now you've done all of that, we're still going to treat you like shit, and every single British press fucking conglomerate is going to discuss how you're the issue with the fucking NHS. That's what we get. That's what we actually get. If you think about it like that, it is the worst type of racism ever, because it has never fucking stopped. It's never stopped. It's every single step of not my existence, but generations before me. Every single step has experienced it in some way by the British. I'm from Kenya. My family's from Kenya. That's where the majority of my family's from. Kenya is a British colony. So when I say my ancestors, I mean literally my ancestors, right? Crazy. So it's especially annoying when I open up the Twitter app and I see some bullshit about Archie's skin, or I see like a report that says institutional racism doesn't exist in this country. And I go, are you lot all right? And then I go, no, they know what they're doing because it works. It is the most effective thing ever, and they will not stop as long as it continues to work. They will drive you crazy before they stop doing it. I didn't even mean to go on a rant, but that's just
all right. The people that are enjoying it, innit? As Sentiment FC here says, I just stepped into the kitchen, Linda bringing the heat. Facts. That's why we let people go on this channel, innit? Get it off your chest, innit? Because there's no repercussions here. Say everything. You have an open mic to say what you want. like I said, Alan said, the prince might be 160 from that.
That's crazy. I mean, it's true though. That's the thing. It's true. It's so true. But anyway, Mike, did you see the interview? And if so, what were your thoughts?
No, I didn't watch the interview because bun the royal family anyway. I didn't need to watch the royal family to know the royal family are a bunch of corrupt dickheads who are racist. Shock horror. The people what go to other parts of the world to get carried round on like literal wooden rafts by tribes people are racist. Shock horror. Shut up, you fucking chief. Right? Oh, I hate them. Every one of them.
That's a silver lining.
That's a silver lining. Dead eloquent to
I hate him. I hate him. That's proper mank. Let's go.
To be fair, if anyone doesn't know that the royal family is racist, especially like the current, like the Queen and Prince Philip, there was a royal variety performance, like it was possibly 4 or 5 years ago, where diversity was like the main attraction after they won Britain's Got Talent, and he literally goes up to him after the royal variety and asks if they're all brothers. Oh. So are you all brothers? That's a question from our current queen, like consort to the Queen. What the fuck is that? Like, is anyone really? Are we that far later? And this question is being brought up with Harry and Meghan, and people are still shocked that they might be racist. I mean, come on, really? Just wake the fuck up.
Yeah. So that's what I think. Bun them. Like I didn't vote for them. They're born into a life of privilege that literally, if anyone else was given that type of opportunity, would do the world with it. Like, if I know any working class person was given that type of thing, I think they would do better than they're doing. I'm not saying they'd be perfect. I'd say they would do better than what we've got.
I'm going to disagree only because you said born into it. If it was a working class person that all of a sudden walked into it, then there's a chance. But if somebody born into it will do exactly what they do.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. If by weird coincidence, I met someone and they fell madly in love with them, and I was like, I guess I'll have to put up with your title. I'll do more with that title than any of them have ever done.
Fair. That's absolutely fair.
Yeah, but you'd probably find your head through like a steering wheel because they'd kill you. Because
I'm harder than all them.
Let's go. Mike.
Allegedly.
No,
I love it, but it's gonna happen though. Like I said with Archie, I said all this because I seen all the jokes. People were like, "Yeah, I hope that baby comes out." You get me? Like that baby's is black, like proper black.
You see,
the best one I saw was he comes out like James Brown.
Yes,
and then
with the wet perm, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He got moonwalking, man's just Millie rocking around the Buckingham Palace for no reason.
The memes were fantastic. Yeah. But I feel like we also have to be a little bit careful with the jokes. I don't mean to be the fun police, I really don't. But in this situation, I feel like we have to be a little bit careful with the jokes in terms of her, like, because a lot of people were saying, well, what's her next baby going to come out like? You know, like, is the next baby going to be like darker or whatever? And it's just like, first of all, that's weird, and I know that it's a play on the thing that was brought up already within the royal family and brought up in the interview, and so it's public domain now. But it's still a very weird thing to say. But also, how do I phrase this without sounding weird? Like you going, because I saw a few people tweeting, I hope that baby number 2 comes out, like the girl comes out, the daughter comes out like dark skinned and and it's like, I don't wish that for her, because while I am proud to be a dark skinned woman, and if I have children they will most likely be dark skinned as well, it's just like I wouldn't wish that in that, because she's gonna experience even worse than what she's already gonna be born into. She's already gonna be born into some fuckery, right? As the girl coming out, her whole life is probably going to be a bunch of fuckery. Let's just be honest. I know that they've gone to Canada, they've left, they've given up their titles, the rest of it, but those 2 children are going to be under scrutiny, and because she happens to be the girl, she will be under a lot of scrutiny for her whole life already.
Well, she's in media reality now. She's in media about it. It's a different type of scrutiny, but it's still scrutiny, which is...
It's worse. It's going to be... There's not going to be any protection.
No protection, that's it. Yeah, that's what I meant.
You know how, like, and I think this is kind of what Meghan was hoping that she would get, naively, if I was to give my opinion on that. And it's that protection that the royal family gets here, of you're part of the royal family, so the correspondence, like the royal correspondents know, you know, when to leave you alone almost, and when to face the story. They're not quite like your regular journalists, because they know they will lose access. It's a deal they've got with Buckingham Palace, and it's a case of they know that, you know, they don't want to push their luck, and therefore you are afforded quite a few privileges in terms of having that celebrity if you are part of the royal family. And Meghan didn't get that. She thought she might. She thought eventually, if Harry does marry her, that she would get that. She didn't, because, spoiler alert, racism. And then now they're going to be in this weird place of having this notoriety, and the family is going to be infamous for a long time, let's be honest. And they're not going to have any of that protection. That little girl, if anything, it's going to be more of a drive to get stories about her. So with Archie too, to be fair, but there's going to be more of a push to get stories about her. She's going to come under a lot of scrutiny that, you know, that might even surpass the scrutiny that Blue Ivy got when she was younger. And the whole of the internet was roasting her hair and wondering why Beyonce wasn't doing her hair, just because, you know, they let it come out how it was coming out of her head naturally. And just little things like that. She's going to come under a lot of scrutiny. And so wishing that she will be dark-skinned to piss off the old racists is all well and good on Twitter and a joke, but like adding that on top of everything that she's going to already face is going to make this so much worse for that girl. And I just feel like, let's make jokes, let's make memes. There was loads of them. They were hilarious, but let's not wish things on kids, is what I'm saying. Let's not wish any of this shit on kids.
You know? A sensible one. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's a sensible.
I do have a silver lining.
There's enough there to make the shot. There's enough there to make a shot without having to drag a little child into it. That's what I would say. Like, there is enough there. Like,
that's the succinct way of saying what I was trying to say. Sorry.
But I do have a silver lining, because Piers Morgan no longer on breakfast TV.
That was my next story. That was my next story. You beat me to it. So, guys.
Absolutely fantastic, because I can't stand him, so it's great. Someone needs to punch him in the face, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, repeatedly. Can't stand him.
Is the epitome of the little shit that never got punched in the face.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is, you know, when you were in school and there was that one kid that was just so fucking insufferable, and you're like, no one's punched you. Once you get that one good punch, once you get in that fight that your mouth is ultimately going to lead you into, and you cannot back it because you can't, there's no way. Like, and what's wild to me, sorry, again, I'm ranting, but what's wild to me,
off your chest.
Piers Morgan got away with, well, he didn't in the end, thankfully, but he was like, even in Women's History Month, when we're talking about things like Sarah Everard, and we're talking about things like how the police are treating women and all that. Yes, he really is the shit that won't flush.
Yeah, the turd in the punch bowl.
Yeah,
he's a shit.
He's a turd in the punch bowl.
Everything since him departing from GMB was Piers Morgan breaks his silence. This man has never been silent a day in his fucking life. He's never been silent. He's not been silent since leaving. He's not been silent since birth. Okay, I'm sick of seeing the headline, Piers Morgan breaks silence about Meghan Markle. Like, no, he has been talking about Meghan ever since she declined a second date with him. She went on one date with him, and I'm surprised she even got one. She went on one date, saw him, and was like, absolutely the fuck not. But
she didn't think that was a date.
Absolutely the fuck not. No, she didn't turn up thinking it was a date.
Definitely
she thought she was just going for drinks with her colleague.
And like, look at the state of him, man. Man looks like, I don't know, Muck from Pokemon or some shit.
It looks like the melting man from RoboCop.
Yeah, man.
He comes out the acid. That's
look at that.
Talk about looks. Let's move looks out of the way, right? Because looks ain't even the thing. But you speak to him for 1 minute, you hear him speak, and you're just like, no, absolutely not. The fuck? No, never.
He's that drunk old man at the bar in any fucking local pub that will disagree with anything you say. You can literally go to you can go to the bar and say to this old man, and everyone knows one. You can go to the bar and go, "Your pants are red," and he'll go, "No, they're not. They're fucking blue. They fucking talk about they're red. They're fucking blue." He's that guy. He's a fucking prick.
But you know what's worse is that Piers is that old man, but then Piers is so shit, such a shit human that he will, while doing that, no, they're not. They're not red, even though he's wearing red pants. And then he'll turn around to everyone else in the pub and go,
and convince them,
look at this fucking idiot saying that I've got red pants on. And then he'll make a whole show of it because he'll buy everyone drinks and get them on their side. And then you're standing there as the only sane person in the pub going, what the fuck are you not listening to this guy for? And that is how I feel every single time I see that he's got a show, he's got a column, he's got this. I'm like, why is anyone paying this absolute knob-end attention? Why?
Because people, you know why people do it? Because people are fucking idiots. Because people are fucking idiots to put this guy. Who listens to this guy?
That's a silver lining if I've ever heard one.
You
know what we need?
Stand him. You needed to be punched in the face repeatedly for the rest of his life.
So many times.
Yeah, just
sorry, Alan, what do we need?
See, what we need to counteract this idiocy is a show on a Saturday at 3 p.m. that tells us about politics and educates us at the same time. And look, I feel.
And I'm not gonna act like it's not a left-leaning show. It is a left-leaning show. What's politicking you off? It is. But what you can get, what you will always get, at least from me, I can't speak for anyone else. They can all guarantee for themselves. But at least from me, I will always tell you the facts as I see them. That's 100% what I'll do. If something's wild, I'll say it's wild. If I'm doing something wild, I'll say I'm doing something wild. Literally, towards the end of the show, like episode 1, Mike, you were talking about, because we were saying about corporate people and stuff, and you were talking about Amazon and saying, don't give Amazon money. They're horrible. And I was like, yes, they're absolutely evil. But I'm a work in progress because I still have Prime. I still pay for that every month because I get too much stuff from Amazon, and I really love that next day delivery, but I'm working on it. I am.
If it was just for the Prime TV, I would argue a VPN is cheaper.
Do me a favor, when Amazon go into the pharmaceutical industry, which they will do, they have applied 100%. For a license in the UK.
You've already got a license.
They've applied for it in the UK and Australia. So when they go into that industry, stay away. Stay away, because that will kill community pharmacy, and community pharmacy within England and Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland is key to any kind of to supporting the NHS. If you kill community pharmacy, you're going to kill the NHS. It will privatise. Do it.
It's already started.
Here's the thing.
To be honest,
the only time I order from Amazon is if it is a convenience thing. I am spoiled in that way.
Yeah.
I won't even deny that, right? But because the reason I know that with the pharmaceutical stuff, it's not going to be that for me, is because I have a pharmacy literally down the road, for one. But two, it's like when you're going to the pharmacy, it's not like you have to wait. Does that make sense? Like when you have a prescription, when you have anything like that, it's something that you get instantly. So for me, I'm hoping that, in terms of society here in the UK, I'm hoping that the fact that it's parallel. It's actually less convenient to get it from Amazon, right? Because you have to wait a day. Obviously, if you're getting things online, that's different. But things like Lloyd's Pharmacy, etc., have been doing next day delivery on a lot of stuff anyway. So I'm hoping that even though Lloyd's is not that much better, it's still better than Amazon. And so I'm hoping that means that Amazon won't corner the market, at least not straight away. That's my hope on that.
I would say the issue is if you go, a lot of doctors now have a system in place where they'll send your prescription directly to the pharmacy. If you've got a repeat prescription and you say, okay, you can send my repeat prescription to Amazon, and it'll be there the day that your repeat prescriptions need, and you don't need to do anything. That is what they're going to do.
So the problem with that is if they say, so Lloyd's do a repeat prescription service at the moment where you can send your prescription through to them. The prescription essentially goes through to Phoenix, which is the wholesaler that owns Lloyd's. You have to request your repeat 5 to 7 days before you actually need it, for them to be able to get it into the warehouse, process the drugs, dispense the goods, send it into pharmacy, and then deliver it direct into you. That's more of an inconvenience into you, because you need to know when your meds are going to end, for you to be able to get that prescription for needed medication when you actually need it on the day, so that you're not days without medication. With the best way to do it is manage it yourself. Like, just don't go online. Don't go to Amazon when they come into the market. Don't go to Boots. Don't go to Lloyd's. Go to your local pharmacy that is family owned, or it's a small group, and support them. Like, because everybody kicked off when greengrocers fucked off and weren't about anymore, because like supermarkets were taking over and literally put the working man out of business. That will happen to community pharmacy. If you don't support them, that will happen. They're more knowledgeable than most GPs. Go in, speak to your pharmacist.
That's so true, by the way.
And every 24-hour pharmacy is also a local pharmacy as well. I don't think there's many 24-hour pharmacies which are big, like Lloyd's or TSB, not TSB, Tesco. TSB. Fucking hell, I'm having a fucking drink for that. Move on, I'm fucking done.
No, I get your point though. I get your point though, Mike. It's that convenience aspect of like, not many of them are going to be anything like that. It's going to be the big one, the Lloyd's. It's going to be, what's that other one that's everywhere?
Well,
I don't know, but like, you know, even Boots and like, you know, things like that are going to be ultimately like more readily available. So you do already have that issue on a high street level. But I know what you're saying. And I think that for me personally, I wouldn't get them off Amazon. I wouldn't get any prescriptions that I needed off Amazon. But that's me now. You know,
the other reason, sorry, Linda, do you know the other reason to not get it off Amazon? Not that I'm saying that Amazon would do this, because I'm sure it'd be very strictly regimented, but falsified medications, which are literally counterfeit meds, or they've not been made in a secure environment, in an environment that means that the right levels of medication or the right raw ingredients are going into it. They get into the market via internet sales and illegal traders. Mm-hmm. If you're solely going to internet sales for your medication, you don't know physically if that product is a genuine product. And there's just not enough checks and regulations in there for me to feel like the patient as the end user is genuinely safe. Like, I really just don't feel like there's just not enough there.
That with that as well is the price gouging side of things as well, because it was proven over the pandemic how shit their algorithms and their monitoring systems were at stopping the price gouging that was going on with masks and hand sanitizers that were like little tiny friggin' 250 ml bottles being sold for 25 quid, and like N95 masks selling for over £200 at one point. Like, it was wild.
Back 1 minute, my dog's going mental.
No worries. The price gouging was absolutely crazy. So I think that they won't, if they couldn't get a handle of it during the pandemic, I don't know that they'll all of a sudden get a handle of it when they start. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it doesn't benefit them to get a handle on it. Let's be honest.
No, does it?
Anyway.
It doesn't benefit them being ethical in any kind of way, shape, or form.
Because they're never held accountable. Yeah. They're never held accountable, and they will make money anyway. So it's like, why not be unethical? Why not? Why fix the issues? That if it is actually an algorithm issue and not done on purpose, let's take the word for it, fine. Well, what's the incentive to fix it? If you're never ever getting held accountable, you don't have to pay taxes, let alone fucking like, you don't have to do anything. So it's like, why would you? What's the incentive? But we've gone a little bit off track, but we were talking about Piers Morgan. leaving Good Morning Britain, and that brings me on to Sharon Osbourne.
Before we move on that, the way he got dusted by that weatherman in that debate and he left was lovely to see. And that was just, you know, when you say karma hits you and that, it was just great to see
him walking off was good.
Yes, that's what I like about it.
It was good for people who were on the fence about him to see him not even be able to take not even half of what he dishes, because that wasn't he. You know, what's his name? Alex something.
Alex. Yeah, that's it.
He wasn't rude. He wasn't abrupt. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't even that blunt. Like he was very nicey with what he said. It
was just facts.
And he
couldn't even take that. You get what I'm saying?
And I think it was really good for people that were on the fence who were a little bit ignorant of Piers Morgan's what's the word? His bullshit. Like if their bullshit detector was a little bit off, and you know they didn't necessarily love him, but they, you know, on the fence about him, I think it was good for them to see him walk off like a child over absolutely nothing.
Fantastic.
It was great.
I loved it, innit? And the meme that came from it again, social media.
Did you see the Ofcom complaints that had come through because Alex Bereford was sat in Piers Morgan's chair?
Oh yeah.
Like on yesterday, the day before.
Weatherman brought the storm on the set.
Like,
that's good. That is low-hanging fruit, but that is good, yo. That is good.
Works off.
It does. It works, man. Big up Harrison. That works. That's funny. Sorry, innit? I'm a child like that.
It was great. No, it was really great. And then obviously not long after he stormed off like a baby, he then left. He parted ways with Good Morning Britain. With ITV in general. He quit. I think that was a bit strong arming, and then a little bit of a little bit of a settlement, and then he left. So then, for some reason, Sharon Osbourne decided to. When I say she peak white woman, it was a
she Karened all over the fucking place.
Disrespect what she did by calling it Karening. I think the new term should be a Sharon, not even a
Sharon.
Karen.
Yeah, I get that.
Incredible.
Because Sharon's more than I need the manager. Sharon is I'm going to insult everyone's race by defending my own.
It was. If it wasn't so damaging and terrible, you know, in terms of it being a person and whatever, it was honestly impressive to watch, right? Because she did everything that every, you know, person that has ever had discussions on race relations and racism and white supremacy and everything, she ticked every single box. You know, she was on social media defending is this white man about who's been accused of racism, and she was like, I don't even know what's happened, but I know that he's great. Like, it was just like, wait, what? She even said,
he's my friend, he can't be racist.
He's my friend. I don't know what's been said, but I know that he is a good person because he's my friend. Okay, so that's the first box ticked off. The first box actually is I'm just gonna stand up for this white man. That's the first box ticked. The second box ticked was I don't know what he did, but he's my friend, so we couldn't have done it. No, absolutely not. That's the second box. The third box is to use her platform to then go and push back even further and then say that she's the victim. That's the third one. That's a go.
The gaslighting. It's the gaslighting part of it all.
It's the I'm the victim. It's like, oh my God, like all these people attacked me and called me racist, and I'm not racist. How could I be racist? You know, that's the third one. The fourth one is to then have a little bit of pushback from your friend. She actually refers to Cheryl Underwood, her co-host, as her friend, right? A black woman who was then trying to explain in the calmest. When I say Cheryl Underwood she was policing herself. She was keeping her frustrations in check because she knew as soon as she raised her voice in any kind of way, she would be the bad person instantly, right? You cannot be the black woman in this situation and lose your temper kind of way. You can't get any type of anger. You can't raise your voice. You can't seem threatening, any of that, right? So she was calm and very like trying to explain what it was that people were trying to tell Sharon on the internet when she came and supported this guy, you know, why what Piers Morgan said was like terrible and racist and all this kind of stuff and misogynist. And she then decided to scream at Cheryl, well, educate me! Like, screaming at her so-called friend.
That's a good impression, by the way. I rate that as an impression. That was pretty fucking close, you know.
Right?
No, don't do it.
No. But she's now on television screaming at a black woman to educate her. A black woman who is not her teacher. She is not a student, but she wants her to educate her, right?
And a junior.
Screaming, Anna Junior. This was 60 something? 60? 56?
60.
Yeah,
she's quite a bit over 60.
She's grown. She's grown. She's grandkids grown, right? And she is, I don't know if she has grandkids, but like she's grandmother age is what I'm trying to say, right? And she's fully cooked adult at this point. It's like you're not gonna, things aren't going in. Do you know the let sleeping dogs lie? Like whatever it is, it's just not going in.
Can't teach an old dog new teach.
The wrong dog. I got the wrong dog. But you know what I'm saying? Like you've lived your life, you've raised children, you've had businesses, you've got a TV show. If you still insist on screaming at your so-called friend to educate you on why what you did and what your friend did was racist, it's because you don't want to know. It's because you don't want to know. You don't care. You don't want to know. If you haven't learned in all this time, it's because you don't want to know. So she's screaming at her to educate her. And then Cheryl gets frustrated at one point and she looks like she's about to break into tears. And then Sharon did the peakest peak white woman thing you can do. And she said, "Don't you dare cry. If anyone should be crying, it should be me."
Wow.
And then she ordered a Chardonnay after it. Like, that is peak white woman, like, and Jesus.
I want to just stay on that point right there because everything that she did up until that point was peak white woman. But that right there is the violence that we talk about. It might not seem violent to you, but it is violence. If at some point as a black woman, you feel like this is my friend, I'm trying to tell her why, because she's asking me why is she wrong. She asked her. Right? She's asking me, why is she wrong? How could she be wrong? Why are people attacking me on Twitter? What's going on? And I'm trying to say to you, hey, you know, this is what it is. And I'm trying to be calm and I'm trying to get my words right because I realize there's people watching. I don't want to offend you either because you're my friend. I want to have this discussion with you and really educate you, even though it is not my fucking job. Right? And then you keep screaming at me. And as I become frustrated and emotional, you're then telling me that I have no right to have any kind of emotion, because if anyone should be crying, it should be you. It should be you. Really, Sharon? And that's why Karen isn't even, it's not good enough. It's not. Sharon is the level of Karen. It has to be. It has to be. This isn't calling the police on some black kids in the street. This is going on national television, defending a racist and then screaming at your so-called friend and then telling her that she should never even think about having the audacity to show any kind of emotion, because if anyone is going to get any sympathy from anyone, it should be her. Violent, beyond belief. And then you know what she got? Even though she then left the show, a $10 million settlement. $10 million to leave. $10 million, allegedly. It's been reported that she got $10 million to leave the talk.
10 million to leave.
I hate them all. Right? It's not even the royalty at this point. It's not even royalty at this point. It's just rich people. Like, it's just rich people. They're all assholes. How can you go on television and shout at someone like that and think you're in the right? Anyone?
Screamed at her.
I mean, screamed.
Yo, Harrison said it here. It just shows me the privilege.
Yeah, privilege. Yeah, that's what it is.
Privilege. That's why we're not shocked by it no more.
And part of me thinks, because she's the Osbournes and they got their infamy, apart from Ozzy being Ozzy, that the Osbourne show was them lot being pricks to each other.
Yeah.
They laid the ground print of that type of reality show. Like, just big pricks, and people will watch, and that's what I think it is. I don't know if they did, but the producers of the show did. I would say the producers.
Oh
yeah, it was cut to make it that way, and then she saw.
Yeah, it was played up.
Weight of, and she's. me being generous to her is her playing up to that.
Yeah.
At the worst, it's her being just a shallow, ignorant cunt.
She is
Like
at best, she's like playing devil's advocate or just like playing up to the media. At worst, she's a piece of shit.
She's trying to do what Piers does, but she's not intelligent enough to do it as well.
I don't feel like he's intelligent.
I don't know.
Feel like
I don't know.
Yeah, he's just a prick.
I feel like he's
just pricks. All of them. They're just
almost,
pricks.
Look at it.
I don't want to apply the word intelligent to him, but I would, or charming. But it's something like that where he can talk. He's like a really good salesman, Mike. So you'll know.
Yeah, he's a con artist.
Man. You'll know a man that I know.
Oh yes,
in my,
I know
in
what you're
life,
talking about.
Who Vicky knows, who is a salesman who's neither intelligent nor charming, but can seem to wriggle his way out of any situation.
That's narcissism. It's narcissism.
She's not got that same kind of charm or level of eloquence that can convince people of what she's saying is right. She's not got the same following.
Piers Morgan is a degree off being Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. He's literally a degree off that. He's literally just, if you click it over one thing, he'll go from being narcissistic to like sociopathic very easily. That's what it feels like.
The only thing I would push back on what you said, Alan, is that she doesn't have that following now because that wasn't her brand. Her brand was to be the, older woman who's had this kind of rock star husband, kind of a rock star life to begin with, but then kind of settled into this matriarch kind of role. She was meant to be there as super opinionated and to give a voice and be funny and quirky and weird and have different hair colors and all this kind of stuff, right?
Well, she's supposed to be She's supposed to be the alternative Joe side of stuff. Like you said, her husband is Ozzy Osbourne. He was the alt culture of the late 70s, early 60s. Like it was, and that's what I think she was supposed to be pitched as. I think that's what you're getting at.
That was her initial brand, and I think that her brand was never about getting that shock value in terms of political opinion or anything like with Piers Morgan. I think that's the difference between the two, is that her branding was very different. Now what she can do now that she has stuck up for Piers Morgan and gained some infamy from doing that, right, gained some viral moments from doing that, she can now turn that into what her thing is. So she can now start her show. She can do whatever she wants on her own platform. She can even do something on Facebook. Facebook love to give people platforms who are already big celebrities, and they make a lot of money doing it that way through Facebook Watch. She can now create her own platform that kind of mimics what Piers Morgan does, which is comment on more interesting people, but do it in a way that's controversial to make yourself seem like you're interesting. And if she can do that now, and the reason these people can do that is because of white privilege. That's what it is. Like, it's because you're given the space to have the conversations that you feel like in society you can't really have. Like, that whole thing of being called a racist is actually worse than the racist act itself, right? Like, it is the worst thing to be called a racist. Don't you call me a racist. I am not a racist. Forget the fact that you just did all this stuff that is impacting other people's lives and is racist. But it's like, no, just don't call me a racist. Like, why would you call me? Like, that's the worst thing. It's not the racist act. It's not the impact. It's none of that. It is the word. It is the label, right? And I feel like that's why these people are given this space of being controversial, and that's why people gravitate towards them. Mainly white audiences gravitate towards them because they feel like, well, they're saying stuff that I'm not really allowed to say in a public place, but because they've said it, I can say, well, he's on telly and he's saying it, she's on telly and she's saying it, so it's fine. And that's why people are, in my opinion, this is not based, I'm not a television executive, I don't make these decisions, this is all in my opinion of observing what's been going on. That's why these people get these platforms, and they are very, very successful at doing it. And if Sharon plays it right and uses that 10 million to invest in herself, she could probably be very, very successful in setting up a female version of what Piers Morgan is doing, which means they won't be that different after all.
She'll end up on that new news thing. What's coming up? GB News. I can see he's going to end up on that.
I didn't really click on the article or anything with it.
So Andrew Neil, who's Joe, is the chief editor of the Spectator, and a bunch of other fairly well-known centre-right journalists who have been with it in that universe for 25, 35 years. So they've got a lot of contacts. I've gone, right, we're fed up of woke cancel culture. We're going to set up our version of Fox News in Great Britain, and they've got a lot of money backing them. I mean, a lot. I mean, even Discovery Channel have put quite a bit of money behind it.
Not surprised.
Yeah, is a lot. And I talked about it last week on the What's Politicking You Off, and it's scary to think what's coming. And Piers Morgan is definitely going to end up over there as either morning or prime time, Friday night, something. He's going to end up as one of their big main faces, and it's not going to be as censored as what normal news is, because it's going to be opinion pieces like Fox News is. It's not going to be, this is us reporting the news, this is our opinion on the news. Ooh, if you're anything but centre right, well off, it doesn't matter race, like we talked about last week on the live. It doesn't matter race, you just need to be well off. And if you're not well off, you're fucked coming forward. It's even Labour now is a centre right party.
But that's what.
But this is we'll talk about that tomorrow. Let's just get drunk and talk about funny shit now.
No, but it's what worries me though is that I need for people to realize that if you're not well off, this includes you too. But I also want them to look inwardly and think, why is it that it takes for you knowing that to do something about it? Why can't you see your fellow person is being oppressed and be like, this ain't right. I don't want to subscribe to what's happening. Why
it's
is
a lack of empathy?
Why is it that you're just fine with shit happening to black people? Why are you fine with shit happening to gay people? Why are you fine with shit happening to Muslims?
People don't care until it happens to them. People don't care until it happens to them.
I don't understand. In my heart, I swear I don't understand it. Like, why are you just fine with it happening? Why?
It's run on a capitalist structure where the ones at the top, as long as you're not affected and you're making money, that's all it is.
But they're screwing all of us. But I'm talking about the white working class, the people that are also being screwed. But
because the media is making them out to feel like because the media is making them out to them to feel superior. Doesn't matter.
But
on class, it's on colour at the moment. It's a culture war.
I know that this is psychology 101, manipulation of the human mind and the human form. I get that, right? But the thing that gets me is that you can tell me all the things you need to tell me, but as soon as I look at my Halifax Bank app and there is nothing in there, and there's constantly nothing in there, why is it that something's not clicking in my head that these people got to be lying to me? Why do you understand what I'm saying? Like, why is there no 2 and 2 = 4 happening?
The only way I can think about putting it is it's a weird sense of superiority. It doesn't matter that we're both broke, but I'm white. That is what that part is. Like
100%. And that's what stops me from going, but like I say, it'll affect you too, but that's what stops me from just being like too overly do you know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm like, I can't have that. Even though I have empathy for you, I can't have that much sympathy for you because I have to hold it back because I have to think you don't even look at me like I'm one of you in the street.
It's a lack of education where people don't understand that people in the same class is more important than the same race. Like it's making people understand that if you can get past culture war issues, I think that'll be the main thing. But like I've argued for a long time.
I don't know that we will because, they're soldiers, white supremacist soldiers. They're working class as fuck. They're out here just killing Asian women in brothels. They're out here, not brothels, massage parlors. They're out here. I'm so sorry, in massage parlors. Jesus. I don't know where that was.
Where are you?
What are you drinking, love? What are you drinking there?
Let's have a look at that bottle. What you're drinking? What's in the back of it? What is going on, Linda?
What's going on here? I expect that from Alan.
Yeah, seriously.
For me, I know that this is live, but in your mind, I'm going to do what judges do with juries. Can you just ignore that happened?
Stricken that from the record.
Strike that from the record. That's it. Strike that from the record. That didn't happen. You saw it, but it didn't happen. Ignore that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people that are, carrying out the will of the 1% are poor as hell. And it's just interesting to watch. Anyway, let's move on. I don't want to get too serious. We've gotten way too serious. Oh no, this is a serious one as well. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna skip it. I'll skip it till later.
Okay.
This one is hilarious. I'm so sorry. Right, okay. I know you guys don't keep up with stuff. I know you don't. But I'm hoping that a couple of you at least will have seen this shit. Okay. So All-Star Weekend happened in March.
Right.
Okay, so All-Star Weekend Alan is looking confused. So in the States,
what the fuck is that? I'm already not one of those guys that's keeping up.
The National Basketball Association, aka the NBA. Okay. Yeah. So they have like games throughout the year, right? They have seasons and shit, right? But what you need to know is there are times when they do. Listen,
explain it. Go on.
That didn't happen. Okay?
You just woman-explained basketball to me.
I did. Listen. So then what they do, right, is every year, right? Once a year.
It's every year.
Every year. They do an All-Star Weekend where
there's a fake Linda in the comments.
Set up a fake me.
You've made it, Linda. There's hella fake. I've blocked it. Don't worry. The mod's already got to it. It's a fake Linda in that.
From a video.
Yes, there's a fake Linda.
Incredible.
It's been blocked.
You've made it. You've made it.
Yo, salute to NB because he was quick.
Listen, Mike, like I said, I always look at my bank account. If my bank account doesn't say I made it, I ain't made shit. Okay, you can make all the fake profiles you want. I've not made anything. Listen. So All-Star Weekend is the All-Star Games basically, and they have it doesn't count towards anything. It's just a bunch of super famous people playing basketball. Anyway, there's always groupies that go to this, right? So there's always this set of women who will go with their friends, and it's like some of the women there, like 0.01%, who turn up to have a good time. The rest are there to bag a basketball player. That is the goal. They are all like Formation. Think the Beyonce video for Formation. They are in the line. They know what they're doing, right? They are attacking from every angle. Yeah. Well, at least one of them is going to have a
They're attacking something from every angle.
They
anyway.
They're going for it, right?
Yeah, man, the holes, man.
All-Star Weekend is their hunting ground. They're at one focus once a year. Bag a NBA star. Every single one of them, right? And if one of them does it, then the whole group has made it. So this year was interesting because, oh Lord Jesus, multiple women set up GoFundMes to get back home from All-Star Weekend. Because what they did was they used the little money that they had. Times have been especially hard with the pandemic. People have been out of work. The stimmies ain't been hitting like that in the US, right? I know they've had another one, but this is after All-Star. But before that, there wasn't much money circulating among these women. So what they did was either had enough money to get to, I think All-Star Weekend.
Was it Atlanta or was it somewhere south?
I think it was Atlanta.
Was it in Charlotte?
No. Hang on.
Am I thinking south? Like Houston or Dallas or something?
No, I think it was Atlanta.
Was it not? I'll check. Yeah, Atlanta. I knew it was somewhere south though. That's
Atlanta is south.
Atlanta is south. Yeah. I'll Google it now.
Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, it was in Atlanta. So a lot of women, what they did was the little money that they had, they made sure that they organized themselves, like a ride or whatever to get to Atlanta. And some people organized a way to stay there because, obviously they'll price gouge a little bit. The hotels will be like, oh, hey, City. So they'll organize like enough, like they'll have, because the hotels will be super expensive, everything will be super expensive because All-Star's happening, but they'll have enough money for that. And then they got there and they were like, I don't know how I'm going to get home, but it's fine because I'm going to bag an athlete. And they didn't bag an athlete. And then they had to set up a GoFundMe to get the money to come home again.
Yeah,
it was all types of madness.
Wow.
They bet on their box. I respect that to an extent.
They bet on their box. It was fantastic.
Bet on their box.
Name of the episode, bet on your box. But listen.
Bet on your, but don't always bet on your box. It's clearly failed you.
This particular type of betting on your box was honestly the most epic shit I have ever seen in my entire life.
They literally bet the house on their box. They went all the way in.
A group of friends rented a U-Haul truck. Okay, they put some mattresses in that bitch, and they said, home is wherever we are parked. Okay, we are driving this U-Haul to Atlanta, and we are just parking in the street, and the hotel is right there. We have an app, we get ready in the U-Haul, and we go out to the clubs, and we are going to bag an athlete. And the reason we know this is because a random passerby saw girls coming out of this U-Haul and was confused, and then started filming them, and then put two and two together and realized that it was because of All-Star Weekend. These girls, when I say they were doled up, they got doled up in the U-Haul, bent over like this, if any of them at all, right? And me, with my 5'10" ass in there, I'd have been like trying to get ready.
What do you gotta do?
Stand up in there. You gotta do. We got maybe kneel down while you get the top. You know, just do what you
take a knee in it. Do what you gotta do.
Take a knee.
Take a knee.
You know why?
Or maybe take two. Yeah, or maybe take two. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes two. You know what I'm saying? Depending on whatever you was doing.
I want to know from everyone here. We obviously don't have U-Haul in this country, but we do have Enterprise, we do have Hertz, we do have various trucks that you can get.
It's basically a tranny van.
Transit van.
Transit van. Sorry.
So,
there we go.
Wait, what's a tranny van? Hold up. Wait.
No,
what do you think?
I just abbreviate the word transit.
Okay.
Transit van.
We are going to strike that from the record. Transit van. And so I want to know from everyone here right now, first starting with Alan, okay? Is there anything that could happen, any event, sporting event or otherwise, whatever, any event that could happen that would encourage you to rent a van, stick a mattress in the back, that you need it for the weekend, that would actually, because you don't have the money for a hotel, you don't have the money to do this any other way. Is there anything that would inspire you to rent a van so that you could go and sleep in the back of the van so you can be at this event? And what event?
You say this like this isn't a normal weekend occurrence anyway, just me just rocking up at any location with a tranny and with a mattress. Like, I'm not like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like we don't know.
Please say van, for fuck's sake, Alan. Please say van.
Man said rocking up with a tranny and a van. You know how mad that sounds?
Please say van.
Man said tranny and a mattress is what he said.
A tranny and a mattress. Man said rocking up anywhere with a tranny and a mattress. What are you talking about?
We don't know each other at all, Linda. As if I'm not just turning up to any event.
Flawless way. I was holding it
together. We're not bypassing that. Like, you didn't just say what you just said. I said you to
silver lining.
It is a silver lining. It is a
silver lining. That's a silver lining.
Wait. Hold up. Wait. Whoa.
Hey, you got a little French number around the corner, lad.
Man said, yo, you acting like this isn't a normal weekend, and I turn up with a tranny and a mattress. Man didn't say tranny van, man said a tranny and a mattress. Oh God. Oh my God, I can't breathe.
Cheers, Al.
Just what we call them in Salford, isn't it?
Made flawless cry, apparently.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Man, you acting like it isn't a normal weekend.
I hate
tranny and a van.
Flawless, I hate that you just pointed that out and made that so funny because it is problematic as fuck. That is so funny. Jesus.
Oh my god.
Work in progress, guys. A work in progress.
Oh my god, yo.
That's it. We're all a work in progress. No cancellations there.
Oh, that is funny.
You acting like it's not a normal weekend where I just turn up with a tranny and a mask.
That is 100% right. We got to do a shot for that shit right there. We have to.
Thank you. I thought it was just me, but I said that was a silver line. That is fucking golden.
Me.
Now, don't get me wrong. I was funny, but I'm not repeating it. You're brave for repeating it. You know they're going to edit
6 times though.
They're going to use to cancel you.
Oh, yeah, if they do that
clip to cancel you in the next couple of years.
Yeah, but you just say it's all right. It's slang, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh so you act like it's not normal for me to just turn up in a van with a mattress.
That's wild.
Do you know what, Alan? I don't even need any more clarification on your answer. I'm going to move on.
I'm that guy I am that guy that if I want to be somewhere, I'm going to be there.
No, we're not doing this. Absolutely not. Flawless.
You're not about it, Linda.
Flawless,
you're not about it, Linda. If I met you in a club, Linda, and I'd be like, yo, I've got a van and a mattress, Linda.
Alan.
It's been a good night. Bought you a few drinks. I've got a van and a mattress. It's not the Marriott.
A van and a mattress.
It's not the Marriott, but I can assure you that I'm enthusiastic. Linda's gone.
As long as you're enthusiastic about it, lad.
I can assure you I'm enthusiastic. Willing.
That's what would happen, but in real life, Alan.
I can breathe through my ears.
Listen,
I'm mad at a mattress.
I need us to move on from this. I'm trying to steer the wheel. We need to move on.
You trying to steer the van, yeah?
I hate you.
It's not an 18-wheeler. Don't need a specialist license.
Yo, the mattress heavy in the back and you got to steer it.
I'm not making you remove you from your own stream. I will do it. I will do it.
That's low-hanging fruit, though. Come on. That's low-hanging fruit. Oh my god, I got tears, yo.
So let's answer the question or you're on a timeout.
You know what? Give me a sec. Go to Mike in I need a minute.
Fucking give me.
He's in the corner right now. Mike.
Do you want to come back to me?
Nope. Is there an event?
Do you want to come back to me?
I will put you in the corner again. Flawless.
Do you want to come back to me? No, Alan is taking liberties. Oh my god.
Absolute liberties.
You know what? We're moving on to the next topic. I'm not even asking the question.
Oh my god. Cool. I got tears, yo. I'm crying tears, man. I said to you.
Genuine tears.
I am crying tears. Oh
I hate all of you. Why do you do this? Why do you do this?
Oh my god.
Oh, you say it like you don't enjoy it, Linda. Don't be like that.
No, I don't enjoy it.
Don't need that kind of energy in my life, Linda. Like you know you love it.
It is like herding cats, Sasha. It is like herding wild, annoying, cackling cats all over the fucking place.
It's the way Alan said, do you want to come back to me?
Time out.
Hiya.
Right, Mike.
Yes.
Compose yourself. I will do the stream on my own. These two are still laughing. I can still see them. No, they're not coming back on yet. Okay. So we're going to move on to the next story because obviously you guys cannot deal with that story.
Ever.
So, flawless.
I've not said nothing. I've not said nothing. Oh. I'm not. Look, okay. I'm not doing anything. Go bring Alan back, yo.
Have you stuff? We're moving on.
Yeah. I'm composed with that. To answer your Go on. We'll just move on.
So I'm on the wrong side. No, you can't leave me there. I need to be on the the other side.
Yeah.
Can't leave that. There we go. I need to be under.
Get his good side.
Did you say you need to be? You know what? We'll move on. Right. So, I hate you guys, man. Right. We've all heard.
Oh my God.
We've all heard.
Kick him out again. Kick him.
Kick him. I hate you.
That wasn't on me. I'm not even making a joke. Sorry. That's Alan.
Sorry, I won't do it again.
That was all Alan.
This is the way Alan said you want to come back to me.
Oh my God. Are you done?
No.
Hey. All right.
This is why.
Okay, so people in the comments.
I just want to let you know in the comments. You see the Talk About It Network special. This is the moments I live for on the show. Every single month we've done the show, I've been crying real tears and had to get tissue and that.
Amy, honestly, help me.
Amy's on. Hello, Amy.
Big up, Amy ain't going to help you. She knows what I'm like on a daily basis. Like, you don't look for help there. She's fucked.
Oh my God. It's Mike.
Your name is problematic, but I do agree.
Your name is hella problematic. That is a hella problematic.
Why did I put that up there? I ignored it.
Like an angry pirate.
What?
Oh my God.
All right, guys.
Look, I'm like.
All right. If you carry on like this, I will move on to a topic that is going to make you guys look terrible.
All right, cool.
That's going to bother us.
I'm just muting myself in it. You carry on. I'm muting myself, yeah?
Okay.
Right, hang on. Give me a minute.
If you're still laughing at this topic, you're going to be terrible human beings.
Don't make me feel like a piece of shit.
No, this is my favorite thing to do, Alan. You know what's coming. So we've all heard of casual racism.
Right, there we go.
We've all heard of casual racism.
Alan.
AKA Alan. Have you heard, though, of diabetes-induced racism?
So you have too much sugar, you start shouting slurs?
No, the opposite. No,
so
you don't have enough sugar, you start shouting slurs.
So
exactly.
It's racism in a really nice way.
No. So diabetes induced. I don't know about racism in a really nice way. I don't know. Maybe that's what you think you're doing. But that's not what that is.
Like really sweet diabetes. Like Anyway,
would have worked if you said sweet the first time. That was terrible.
I did. Right. Anyway. Right. So what the fuck?
Yo, what's going on? What's the next topic?
Hang on. I'm trying to share something with you guys.
Yeah, no worries.
Bear with. Right, can you see that press release?
Can I fuck?
Yeah, but you're gonna have to. Yeah, we can't see. You're gonna have to. Zoom in.
I see writing. Can't read
I can see it now. If you scroll up.
All right, you know what? I'll just read it.
Yeah.
Let me just read. Yeah.
Okay. Please don't make fun of my reading. I've been drinking.
That's cool. Don't worry.
I just have to preface it with that. All right. Why is it doing that? Hang on. Oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to read it like that. I have to get my glasses. Shit.
Put your glasses on.
No, I legit will have to. No, I can read that. Okay, so
I can't read that.
It's fine. I'll just read it. I'll stop sharing it and I'll just read it myself. Because stop sharing. Oh my God, stop sharing. Jesus. Right. So, a white man. Probably
right
to Alan. He was commentating on a high school girls basketball game, and then when they did that kneeling, when they did that, listen, stop it. When they did a kneel at the start, you know, the Black Lives Matter kneel, he was caught on camera saying, "Look at these N-words." Something to the effect of, "I hope they lose." Just caught on a hot mic.
Is that what
right?
You said
100%. So then afterwards, he kind of was like denying it, and then he realized it was a hot mic. So he put out this press release, and it said, "I, Matt Rowan, on Thursday, 11th of March, 2021, most regrettably made some statements that cannot be taken back. During the Norman High School girls basketball game against Midwest City, I made inappropriate and racist comments, believing that the microphone was off. However, let me state immediately that that is no excuse. Such comments should have never been uttered." There should have been a comma there. "I am a family man. I am married, have 2 children, and at one time was a youth pastor." I'd like to pause there real quick. This man taught Bible school.
Shock.
I continue to be a member, but he did make sure to add in his press release that I continue to be a member of a Baptist church.
Yeah, it's still being a bigger fucking nonsense, isn't it? Like,
wow.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Wow. Okay, allegedly.
Allegedly, look what he did.
You know what?
Then he goes,
the fact that he's a part of the Baptist did add into Mac's argument, which made this even funnier.
No, we're not doing that. We're not on Good Friday. We're not doing that. Right. So he goes
good for some people, Friday, you mean?
Okay.
That's what we
Mike,
mean.
I will give you a timeout in a second. Chill. So he then goes on to say, "I have not only embarrassed and disappointed myself, I have embarrassed and disappointed my family and friends. I will state that I suffer from type 1 diabetes, and during the game, my sugar was spiking. While not excusing my remarks, it is not unusual, that when my sugar spikes, I become disoriented. And I often say things that are not appropriate and as well as hurtful. I do not believe that I would have made such horrible statements absent my sugar spiking. During this time, I was with a colleague and friend. The friend, Scott Sepulpi, was not the one that made these comments. It was me and me alone. It was not my desire to shirk my responsibility in this matter, and I certainly do not want Scott Sepulpa to share in the blame of this most unfortunate incident. With the comments I made, it would certainly seem to indicate that I am a racist. I am not. I have never considered myself to be a racist, and as if that's a qualifier for you being a racist. I don't think I'm a racist, so I can't.
I can drop home bombs, but I'm not a racist, bro.
I'm not a racist. I can call a bunch of high school girls the N-word, but I'm not racist. And in short, cannot explain why I made these comments. I offer my most sincere apologies for the inappropriate comments made and hope that I can obtain forgiveness. I specifically apologize to the Norman High School girls basketball team. Yes, team, their families, their coaches, and I got stuck on team. I read all that shit, and team was the one that got me. I specifically apologize to the Norman High School girls basketball team, their families, their coaches, and their entire school system. Additionally, I offer my apologies to the OSSAA and the NFX, whatever network. Further apologize to all involved in my situation. There are no words to explain what occurred. This is something for which I must take responsibility, and I wholeheartedly accept responsibility for my words and actions. It is my sincere desire that I can obtain forgiveness for my actions and words. So I just want to start with the end and then go back. So the end says, this is something for which I must take responsibility. Well, no, the fuck you didn't, you grown imbecile. You started by talking about how you had made inappropriate comments while you believed the microphone was off. That's number one. You clearly admitted that you thought the microphone was off, which means that you had the forethought to say the shit you were going to say, but it wasn't for public consumption. It was for your colleague, Scott Popolti, or whatever his name is, right? You meant to say that. You just admitted that you meant to say that because you said, I said it thinking the microphone was off. If I was to say to you guys that I said something thinking the microphone was off, that's not to say that I didn't mean to say it. I didn't mean for other people to hear it.
Yeah, because you wanted to say some wild shit and that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so why is this Scott not pulled him up on the fact that he's just said that? Like, he's took a whole paragraph to say it wasn't Scott that said it, but Scott didn't say, why are you saying that word, bro? Like, at no point did Scott go, "This is not okay."
No.
Yeah,
I listened to the recording as well. At no point, Scott just did that weird laugh thing that white men do when their other friends are racist.
Uncomfortable.
Shit.
And the thing is, it was what do you say? It was black girls, school kids playing basketball.
No,
and he found a way to say that.
It was a girls' basketball team.
Yeah.
And the team, made up mostly of black girls, at the start of the game, did the kneel that they do for Black Lives Matter when the national anthem was playing. And what he was caught on the hot mic saying was something to the effect of, look at these N-words. He definitely said the N-word bit. Yeah. Said, look at these N-words. I hope they lose, or something like that.
He said, look at these niggas. I hope they lose. That's
mad.
Over a basketball.
But he didn't say it like that. He had that extra ER on the end. He was like, look at these niggas. Hard ER. You know that special one that only Americans can do. You know that one that really the American racists can do. That really just, you know that one.
Who's it from the Southern South?
Yeah.
It's from the belly.
The apology didn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
So he ends saying that, you know, it's something that which he takes responsibility for. But the first thing he said in the press release was that he thought the microphone was off. So that's not him taking responsibility, because he's admitting by accident that he meant to say that shit. He just didn't mean for everyone to hear it. The second thing that he does is then move on to the fact that he's a family man. He's married with 2 children. He was a youth pastor, and he's still very involved in the Baptist church. That's not you taking responsibility. That's you trying to garner sympathy from your fellow Christians. And I will put that in quotes.
I'll call it the ground prosecution's argument. I was a Baptist priest. Honestly, I didn't mean to touch those kids that way.
Okay.
That's what
pisses me off is that he doesn't just rely on the being a family man and being involved in the church. He specifically mentions that he was a youth pastor, and I think in this case, we're moving away from the nonce thing, when he's calling high school girls. So children, he's calling high school girls the N-word. And then in his press release where he takes responsibility, he mentions that he was a youth pastor. What kind of fucked up shit did he say about those children that he was pastoring to? What type of gaslighting did he do when he was there preaching to them? Right? Yeah. So that's the second bit where he doesn't actually take responsibility for a shit, because he's trying to lean on Christianity, which does not fucking work. Try another one. So he goes, all right, I will. Listen, I'm a diabetic. All right.
that is peak white.
But he led into it and he said, I have been known to say some wild shit when my sugar was spiking. And you know what? N-bombs drop sometimes. My sugar was low. What do you want from me?
When you don't get your sugar, you get me. You them N-words flying.
I needed a Snickers. I ain't lying. I needed a Snickers, man. If I don't get a Snickers, I'm calling you. All right.
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm hungry, I'll just stab a guy. Like, that is shit just happens. Like, I'm sorry, but it's not my fault. I just didn't have a Snickers that day or a Mars bar. And then I just beat the shit out of someone and stamped on their head.
That's the worst excuse I've ever heard for racism. That is the worst. It's a new one. Number one, it's a new one, but 2 is the worst one I've heard.
It's just so, when we talk about, white supremacists like to talk about how, it was white people that invented everything, right? They always talk about like the advancements and technological advancements and forget to mention the black women that were involved in NASA. And when they talk about, the invention of civilization, they always mention Greece, but they never mention that the Greeks actually got it from the Egyptians, who are not white. And they never address the things, the advancements that, black and brown people and Asian people that actually, contributed to the world. They always kind of want to talk about what white people did. And I just think it's very, very important that even though we need to point those things out, that no, you guys didn't really invent a lot of stuff. You did invent this incredible way to gaslight the fuck out of everyone else. It is honestly impressive. If it wasn't so harmful, it would be something that I would just encourage people to just be like, this is great. It's like an amazing movie, right? It's like, when there's plot twist after plot twist and you're just sat there watching, you're like, this is fantastic. It's like that, except it's real life and it's, affecting people badly. But it's honestly amazing.
It almost feels like
it's fascinating to read about, but not to live through.
Yeah, because it feels like the sort of shit you wouldn't put in a movie. Like if you watched a film at the weekend, Linda, and someone was in it, go on the stand, going, "I'm really sorry that I said this racist shit, but I was kind of, my blood sugar was really low, and I say some wild shit when that happens." You'd be like, "This film." You'd walk away and you go, "This film was shit. Like it was ridiculous." But someone said that in real life.
It's true, but I really want to emphasize the, because whenever people talk about the the transatlantic slave trade, they always talk about how, well, there was always different forms of slavery, right? The Romans and whoever, there was always people that were enslaving other people. It's happened throughout human history, and they're correct in saying that. But it's interesting. I have to say, just looking at it from a historical point of view, it's so interesting how it's been done this time around. The combination of the transatlantic slave trade and colonization, the combination of, the way that people have been gaslit, whatever, and the way that it's just all the way that systems have been built, and it looks like you're making progress, but really it's a sham so that you can make a bit more money and not, like, how you can say slavery is abolished, but also prisoners have no rights to anything. So let's just imprison a whole bunch of Black people instead. And then it's like, make them work for absolutely nothing. And it's exactly the same thing as slavery, that type of thing, right? And then I would
argue the differences between those forms of slavery and when it was white, Western European dominated is Machiavellian. Give you the blueprint of how to gaslight people to believe in everything is for your betterment. That is what I feel, and I feel like England, Britain, Bulgaria, Hungary, those places in the far part of Europe where you've got a big uprising in the right, it's all very Machiavellian, and people compare Boris to Trump, but you should be looking more to Europe with the Machiavellian style, where you go in that way, where it's more.
And also,
it's more intricate and slightly more harder to point out the flaws in it.
It's more intelligent, right? I hate that word, but it's so clever, right? It's calculated. It's a level of cunning that Trump could never.
Because he never read it.
Never, right? It is incredible and impressive, and it would make a fantastic docu-series of some kind, right? Or a limited series or something that's not based in reality, but was a story that was told that was too long to be a movie, like a limited fucking 8-part Netflix series. It would just be incredible to watch, because the way that it's been done is so unique, not just to Britain. We have to include France, we have to include Belgium, we have to look at the parts of the world where they actually went out and did some horrific things. Yeah. But then they spun it in a way that's the barbaric stuff, that was nothing new. That's been happening, right? All of the barbaric stuff, the enslaving people, the building your country with the bodies of other people, the people that you then will tell your people who you're still stepping on that they're still better than them. That's not new. That in itself is not new. The Romans did it. So many people did that before, right? But the way they built the system and the way they gaslight us and the formula that they follow is honestly incredible. It is amazing to watch. If it wasn't happening in real life, it would be so impressive. So impressive.
But I've said that
it's that whole thing that you learn from your history, and I feel the right learn from it and evolve, whereas the left don't.
The left don't. But you know what the right do? The right take what they need from it. And I think that and obviously, mention it, if I'm wrong, do please mention it. But in my opinion, what I think the right have learned really well is messaging. They picked up the way of using terms, of turning people in a way with just hot button terms, like quick little terms that they can use and throw out there that they know that people will adopt whether they agree with them or not. They are incredible at messaging. And then what they do is they take what they need from it and then they push for the destruction of that piece of history.
Yeah.
The people that always talk about censorship, the people that always talk about free speech are the first to want to shut things down and eradicate them.
Yeah.
Don't believe me. Look at all of the Twitter gangsters right now. Look at the Tommy Laurens. Look at the Candace Owens. No, seriously. Watch how they move. They'll tell you free speech is under attack. Free speech is under attack. I should have the platform. I should be able to go to universities and speak to young people. I should be able to put a book out. I should be able to have an audience and say hateful, hurtful things. I can be a neo-Nazi in 2021. Free speech, right? But then as soon as a female rapper talks about having a wet ass pussy, they are the first. They are the first to say this shouldn't be allowed because children. As soon as somebody talks about abortion rights, they are the first. Look at how the original cancellers are right-wingers, but they're the ones that created the term cancel culture, and look how everyone uses it now. Their messaging is incredible, far more superior than anything the left could ever do.
The right have got the ability to turn phrases in on themselves. So something can start in the left, like woke. Yeah. Woke was a notorious great thing on the left, and it was used to alienate and ostracize people what wanted people to have the same rights as them.
Look at the term liberal. The term liberal, the same thing happened to that. The term socialism, same thing happened to that. They will take words that have been created or will describe something that's positive, and they create a messaging. They will use terms that describe good things and then tarnish them. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we're doing the same thing. And then they'll create terms to describe their own actions, but put it on the left, and then all of a sudden everyone's saying that same thing. Everyone will say it.
Partly, I think partly it is because people on the right understand that socialism is a byproduct of capitalism, and they understand that, whereas people on the left don't understand that socialism is a byproduct of that, and it's just them trying to rebel. That's the difference. They know how to persecute far more effective than the left.
100%.
Does that make sense?
It does. No, it 100% does, because their messaging is on point. Their messaging is always on point, and they will back each other in a way that the left won't. We'll be too busy arguing about shit that don't even matter half the time. Over there, they don't care if they don't agree with them. They know that they agree with them on one thing. They will agree. If they agree with a particular right-wing politician on abortion, they don't care if they went out and attacked the Parkland kids because after they'd all been shot up by a mass shooter. They don't care about a Marjorie Taylor Greene and her hateful politics and her weird shit, the conspiracy theories and all that. No, she agrees with them on abortion rights, so they will vote for her. They're very they're very like, we got to stick together. We got to back it. We have to back it. Whereas the rest of us, we're too busy arguing and infighting and trying to do what's right that we don't end up having the same result. Not that that's a bad thing in terms of what we're doing, in terms of holding each other accountable, which is what we should do. But we end up losing in the end because we're not sticking with that one. We're not sticking with the one team to win. We're not the same way. We don't think about the end goal. We think, no, you've done something wrong. You've done something wrong.
The left are very splintered in the fact that they want to appease everyone in every aspect of their lives. Yes. Whereas the right, all they want to do is close down talks and discussion to stop society evolving. That's the only way I can. Conservatism is the anchor on society evolving. That's how I feel. Yes. I don't feel how anyone could argue against that.
Yeah. It's the opposite of progression. It is, because that's why the left is always seen as progressive. It's the complete antithesis of progression. It holds society back. That's what it's there to do. They're just very, very good at it. We need to work on it over here. That's all it is. But that, again, is a politicking thing. We've gotten into politics, Mike. We have a bad habit.
I think we've actually broken Alan. He looks absolutely defeated by the conversation.
I went really tired.
To everyone listening, like I said, what's politicking you off? You catch it fortnightly on the channel. The second episode is back with Linda and
we might be more coherent because we don't drink on that one.
There you go with it. So what's politicking you off?
Oh, you might not.
There's a playlist for the show also. There's a playlist for the show also, so you can catch all of them there. And Ravi wanted to get to this comics and flawless. You know, too many quality people that are jokers too. Bless, bro. Of course, man. Sarcasm City TV only brings you the best in class. You know what I'm saying? In that.
Spoiler alert, Ravi. Flawless literally knows everyone.
Yeah,
like all you need to do is go on one night out with this guy. He knows everyone. Everyone. He knows everyone. It's amazing.
A lot of people, but you lot get the likes up on this video. Where else you catching jokes like this for nearly 2 hours?
Get the likes. Should we move on to something a little bit light?
Let's go. And subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV.
I want to talk about some great things that happened in Women's History Month, which was March, at the Grammys especially. So, Grammys, Blue Ivy became the second youngest person to win a Grammy.
Okay.
Meg Thee Stallion won a Grammy, and Beyonce did what Beyonce does, and she just broke records all over the fucking place. Now having 28 Grammys under her belt. It was fantastic. 28. Is
that more than Michael Jackson?
Yes.
Because I knew they were fairly close. I don't know the actual number.
She holds the most Grammys out of any vocalist, male or female, ever. And the only person that has more Grammys than her, I can't remember his name, but he is a producer, so he produces and songwrites and all that kind of stuff. So his credits aren't for the vocals. She holds the most Grammys of any vocalist, male or female, ever in Grammys history.
Crazy.
Broke records all over the fucking place.
And she's like what, 38,
I think. 38, 39.
So like she's my age.
Yeah, she's like our age or something.
Wait,
30, 40 years.
30, wait, hold up. Beyonce's how old?
38.
Alan, are you 38?
I thought she was about 36, 38, something like that.
I had no idea. That is mad.
Yeah, I'm not.
Hang on, I think she might actually be.
Look at his hairline,
I think she's turning 40 this year. Hang on, that's
mad. I thought you were just like.
Beyonce's turning 40 this year. I'm sure she was born in 81. Hang on. Yeah, 81. She's 39. She's going to be 40 in September.
I generally thought she was closer to my age than that.
That is mad.
I mean, like 36. I generally thought she was closer to 35 than.
It feels like it, and then it's still funny to me that she's only 39 because I'm 33, and I swear I grew up on Beyonce, which means she must have been so young out here influencing my life.
I grew up with Beyonce. So when
Destiny's Child would have been about.
Yeah, because I remember them being about when Mum was in like high school and
the 2000s and shit. Easy.
Yeah, because immediately, like from
let me check.
Single,
I can Google this shit. Tutus.
So they were just like from their first single because they came on the back of like En Vogue and like we had the Honeys and stuff like that over there, and it was like like it was all cool. And then Destiny's Child popped up and everyone went, "Oh shit, there's 5 of them! Oh no, now there's 4."
Destiny's Child was formed in 1990. That's why.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were.
Yeah, but when did they break? When did they actually have the first?
So they was formed in 1990, but there was only kids then. So I think they broke about 96, 97, I want to say.
It was a good couple of years after TLC were
a baby when they were formed.
That is mad.
TLC was what they were aiming for, surely.
Yeah, but they just kind of one-upped it.
The breakthrough here is saying it's 97 with no.
Say my name.
No, it was before Say My Name.
Was it?
Way before Say My Name.
Way.
No, that was the original Destiny's Child with Latavia and Latoya. No,
all of them. All 5 of them.
Originally, yeah.
5?
Yeah, there was 5 originally.
Oh, am I thinking of some other weird shit girl group?
I'm not well versed in them like that. Yo, you lot, get us to 50 likes, man. We're like 42. Get us to 50 likes on the video, man.
I wouldn't argue against Alan because his knowledge is strictly girl groups. When it comes to the Red Line Picture podcast, he's like me, film, music, sport, Nick, directing, Al, girl groups, and that's it.
He like the girl bands.
Yeah, that's it.
TLC.
After years of limited success, the quartet comprising of Noel, and Luckett.
There was 5 originally.
There was 4.
Watch the video. Watch the video.
4.
Watch the video.
There was Alan. Alan.
I can't believe we're about in 2021. We're about to have a Destiny's Child argument.
You made me Google what I knew because you were so sure when you said it. There were 4 Destiny's Child members.
Okay.
Why have you guys left?
I don't know.
I was not. We was leaving you to it, innit? I was like, all right, let you get the child's argument, innit? You know what I'm saying? Amy's saying there was 4.
Fix the order.
Yeah,
so what we're saying. What was their first?
Hey, I'm going to believe NG over you, Alan. By the way.
The first members of Destiny's Child were Beyonce, Knowles, Kelly. I'm not even having to look at anything.
Just wait a second. Are you thinking of All Saints?
Roland. You're thinking of no. All Saints was 4 too.
Right, I said All Saints. You know, that's taking it back. Jesus.
Kelly, Roland, Latavia, whatever her surname was, and Latoya Luckett. There were 4. Then Latavia and Latoya left. There was some drama. It was amazing. They left. Then another 2 were brought on. Michelle Williams and the other chick, Farrah or something. And then Farrah got kicked out. And then there were 3. There were never 5 Destiny's Child members. Alan,
you've been fucking hard there, lad.
Okay.
You can't talk to me about Destiny's Child. You made me Google that shit.
I am fucking Googling it.
You know why it's taking so long? Because there was only 4.
Was it Eternal? What had 5? It might not have been All Saints. I'm just trying to think of girl groups now.
Let's all watch Alan as he Googles these 5 Destiny's Child members. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Find the 5th member.
No, because I want to
find the 5th member.
I feel like Michelle was a part of the band while the other 2 were originally there.
No, they weren't because Michelle.
I think Al might have been in like the fan channel type of thing, and he knows all the deep dark secrets. Show like he was a 5th Beatle and shit like that. Basically, Al's into
we're gonna wait till
girl group conspiracies.
I can't be. There's a lot of information.
Nah, go through it all. Read it out loud.
For fuck's sake.
Where's the 5th member?
Do you remember earlier in the show we was talking about how you can never really please a woman because sometimes you'll say something and she'll be like, nah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't gaslight me. Don't gaslight me just because you can't find the 5th one. You've been Googling this whole time.
No,
don't gaslight me.
I literally haven't. I was just looking for no.
Absolutely nothing to do with me being a woman, Alan. Don't do that. Right. Find the 5th member or admit you were wrong. Pick one. That's it. There's no gaslighting. There's no option 3. There's no C, gaslight Linda. No, there isn't that. There's A or B. A, find the 5th member on Google right now, or B, admit you were wrong. There were 4 members of Destiny's Child.
Linda, chill. It's okay.
I'm cool. I'm chilled. Find the 5th member then.
You don't seem chill.
Who's the 5th member? What's her name?
I'm waiting.
What's her name? Is she from Houston too? Chill. Who is she? Where is she now?
What's this?
No, we're waiting on Alan. Come on, Alan.
I'm waiting on Alan. Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the 5th member of Destiny's Child?
Girl said Eternal had 4. Eternal, you lot are taking it back with these groups. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Red line. Is that Nick? Or is that Mike? Red line picture, the red line picture there.
Shamed.
Yo, Nick,
I don't feel like Nick's conscious enough to write that word.
Okay. Is Alan thinking of 5? Yeah, you lot taking a 5. Is that SW TLC? TLC had 3, if I'm correct.
TLC did have 3. The T and the L and the C. T-Ball's Left Eye Chili. That's it. 3.
And 5 SL. Yeah.
No, he's thinking of Sisters with Voices, SWV, and there were only 3 of them.
Oh, see, I thought it was talking about the group that 3LW. That's why I just missed it.
3LW, that's a different one. 3 Little Women.
Yeah. Again,
that's 3.
That's mad.
Where's the 5th member of Destiny Child, Alan?
Big up Charlie. Big up to Charlie.
It's the dad. It's Beyonce's dad was the original lead singer. And he
was the manager. He didn't sing. Who's the 5th?
Oh, right.
Tell me the 5th, though.
Move on.
Be careful with that. We don't want to get copyrighted, Joe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's the next finger?
Quick drink.
Linda, what's the next finger just before he finds that out? Just so I can get my jokes lined up.
Right, so I will admit for now.
It's only 4.
I'm wrong. This is a rare occasion, Linda.
The white man's admitting he's wrong, Linda.
No, not even.
It's not even a race thing. Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, Mike? Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? He is very, very, very certain that he's still right, and he's only admitting it now because Google is not affirming that certainty. And I want you, Alan, to look me in the face right now via this stream right now.
Patriarchy.
Look at me in the face. There have never been 5 members of Destiny's Child. There have never been 5 members of Destiny's Child at one time. There have never been. No, Alan, I'm not finished. There have never been 5 members of Destiny's Child at one time. There was Beyonce, Kelly, LaToya, and Latavia. LaToya and Latavia left. Then Michelle and Pharaoh came in. Pharaoh, however you say it in I don't know how you say her
Pharaoh.
name. She then got kicked out, basically. Right, I saw the clip on YouTube. It's fucking hilarious. You guys should watch that. No, they said, "Oh, you need to pack your stuff and leave," and they were like, "Oh, but I haven't got my stuff." Okay, well, you should just leave because your flight's already been booked. It was crazy. Sorry, it was hilarious. But anyway, so then she got kicked out, and then there were 3. At any one given moment, there have only ever been 4 members of Destiny's Child. There are no 5th member. Alan?
Yes.
Since you haven't found the 5th member, am I assuming that you're going for option B, which is to say that you were wrong? Because it can't be I'm wrong for now. It has to be I'm wrong. Either that or produce the 5th member.
George. She was called George.
Oh, shut up, Mike.
Mike's up. Alan, what did you say, sorry?
I will say I am wrong.
One more time?
Let's not push it, Linda.
Just one time.
He won't just walk off the line.
People that missed it. Just once more.
Let's not be a dick about it, Linda.
Once more. One more time. Just one more time. Go on.
Well, for the last time,
and the people at the back.
Maybe only time for the people at the back. I am wrong.
Okay. And now we can move on. Okay. So. Oh, that's problematic. No.
Mike, this yours. It's Nick.
That's got to be Nick. It's not me.
That's Nick.
Definitely Nick. Nick's actually woken from the grave. He's just woken from his slumber.
Yes, I do. I love Mystique. I absolutely loved Mystique when I was growing up. They were the best. I love Alicia Dixon's Little Raps. They were great.
Little Raps? I think you found she was a wordsmith. Condescending.
I know.
I was going to say, I feel like Alicia Dixon was pretty much the only member of that group.
What could rap?
What were the other 2 girls?
But so name them then.
Don't ask me what their names were.
Exactly. So Alicia Dixon was the only member.
That's what they were. Mystique with the Pussycat Dolls before the Pussycat
Dolls. Oh, here's a good one. All right.
So just wait, Cleopatra with the Pussycat Dolls before the Pussycat Dolls before the Pussycat Dolls.
Is that because they was coming at you?
Exactly.
All right, guys, I'm ready for a rant right now. I'm ready.
Oh, shit.
Are you ready for this topic?
Have you not had enough with asserting your authority? Really?
Sav, you don't even.
There will never be enough. Has anyone seen that TikTok? There will never be enough. There will never be enough. Have you seen it? Has anyone seen that with the little dogs? No. Well, there will never be enough of me asserting my authority, Alan.
Ever.
So, Derrick Jaxn.
dirty dog.
I know you talk. Oh yeah. This is a goodie.
So Derrick Jaxn, the self-proclaimed relationship guru, whose audience was mostly black women, and that is just enough in itself for me to piss me off. Because what the fuck do you know about talking to black women about anything? Shut your fucking mouth, you prick.
He knows what they want to hear.
He
knows what they want to hear.
He then was yes, absolutely. He then was outed because while he knew, Mike, like you said, what black women wanted to hear, and that was his whole thing, it was discovered that he actually wasn't any of the things that he was saying he was.
He just wanted his dick wet.
He was the thing that he was saying he wasn't. He was exactly the thing that he was cussing. He was talking about black men don't cheat, and the people that's your people, Flawless. That's your just quick one.
He's not a man. He's a child.
That's your people, Flawless.
Who's black? Who? Who's black?
Derrick Jaxn is not black all the time.
Of all the responses I thought I was going to get, I did not think I would get. I didn't see that one coming. I honestly didn't. I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, that's what him. He clearly a black boy or dark beige, but carry on.
Moving on. So Derrick Jaxn, who spells his name in the most infuriating way possible, which is Jaxn, you're a prick already. Instantly tells me you're a prick. His audience is black women, the second indication that you're a prick. And then the third thing was that he was saying about, oh, if you're a man and you cheat and you're a shit human and you're this and you're that. And then it turns out he was exactly what he was cussing. He was exactly what he was cussing. And he was the worst type because he was the narcissistic type that's going to make a video about it and drag you along to sit there and hold your hand. Well, he was fucking grabbing her hand for dear life. Yeah. Talking about how she has forgiven him and that he knows that even though for some people his actions were inappropriate for him or appropriate for him, it was inappropriate. You know, they did all types of things with women leading up to sex and including sex. Even though initially he denied it. And then afterwards, it turns out that the girl, one of the mistresses that he had actually broke up with him. And it was a week after that video was made, which was interesting because it made it seem like he was done with cheating on his wife. Anyway.
You know what's mad though? One of the videos that he did, because obviously we spoke on this on Sarcasm City, one of the videos that he did, if you look in the back, in the house in the back is one of his mistress's houses. So why do videos talking about not cheating on your wife? Man's mistress.
He's literally coveted his next door neighbour. That is incredible.
Is that a real thing?
But do you know what's worse than all that? Do you know what's worse than all that?
He preached not to.
He's now done the video, right? And it's all come out that he's still cheating, he's still got this, he's still got that. He did all of this stuff. You know what he did? He did a reaction video to the video that he did with his wife because the internet was like, why has he just dragged his wife who was in a bonnet and clearly was half asleep? What the fuck's going on?
Bonnet, you know.
And then
she looked like she was high as shit, man.
She then comes out on her Instagram. I'm really worried about this woman. I'm not trying to make fun of her. Like, I loved all the jokes about him. I hated all the jokes about her because none of this had anything to do with her, or in terms of her being at fault. And she was talking about it wasn't a bonnet, it was a beret, and she was talking about this was like an army of. She's very Christian, and she thinks that she has to go through this bullshit in order to be married. And I honestly, it breaks my heart. But the jokes were flying on the internet. The video went viral, right, of him and his wife, and he decided to do a reaction video. A reaction video in his car by himself to this video, taking the piss out of his wife that he's already mocked.
Yeah, that's the and her I done jokes to that as well. That her name's Davina Jackson. I can't.
Fuck off.
Her name,
really?
No, not even a joke, Mike. Not even a joke. Her name is Davina.
You're not fucking joking. That is genuinely outstanding.
You know what that is?
Sorry. Can I just say, man like NB actually knows me. Like, you figured out my whole personality. You're a prick by default. Yes, instantly. That's my answer to everyone.
Yeah, is your answer. Yo, his wife's name is, and someone tells me God doesn't have a sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? He would put her in that position, and she's called Davina Jaxn.
Are you fucking? Oh,
literally, her name is
Davina. She's called Davina.
Literally.
It's not just a river, apparently.
No, that's denial.
You get the fucking joke.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I hate that I do that. Sorry.
Janaya, yo, that's an actual name. And people say God ain't got a sense of humor and that. He's up there busting up at this, yo. Davina Jaxn.
Either that, he's got the big red button ready. Like,
he's got to press the reset button.
He's never pressing that button, you know.
Yeah, he's got because
too many fucking jokes.
He's obviously not. Someone's having a great time watching this. So obviously
that person is me.
Because there's people like us in the world that just laugh at stupid shit.
Names.
That just someone's name. Know what? People are fucking dumb. People are dumb. Let's laugh at them.
All right, well, since we're in a laughing mood, because I don't want to go in on Derrick Jaxn the way that I want to. I just want to have a quick little PSA with the people that date men that watch this, whether you're a woman, man, or non-binary, whatever. If you date men and there is it could actually be anyone, but with the narcissistic tendencies that this guy actually the way that he just kind of comes across as a person, he actually seems quite dangerous to me, if I'm being honest. And I would just wish that everyone should just run away. If you meet somebody like this, don't ignore this red flag. There are red flags that we all ignore. I get it. But this one, don't ignore something like this. He's very, very narcissistic and he can be extremely dangerous. He's
like king narcissist, that, isn't it? Dude, a reaction to your own
is insane.
Acknowledgement of being a prick.
Plus, it's not like even in the first video, he was talking in third person the whole time. He was like, Derrick Jaxn did this, and Derrick Jaxn did that.
Talking like he was the Rock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it was
weird. Like he's immediately disassociated himself from the situation.
Completely.
Like, nah, not okay with that.
Derrick Jaxn's not me. It's a spectre. Yeah.
When I say something like that is dangerous, I am not even kidding. There's been a lot of great jokes and I'm here for it, but somebody like that is incredibly dangerous. And if you ever see anything like that, before you get in too deep, please, I'm begging you, whoever's watching this, run.
If he can remove himself from that situation by the third person and just crack on, like, I never really cheated on you, that was actually Derrick Jaxn and I'm not really that person, then how do you feel if he stabs you in your sleep? Like, that's
what if you try to leave? Because he's in his mind, he can't rationalize that you're leaving him. Why would you leave him? Like, if somebody's that narcissistic.
Yeah, because he'd be like, I'm okay with you leaving, but Derrick Jaxn's really not okay with it. Wild. Like, that's the type of disassociation.
My darker persona is going to be Derrick Jaxn from now on.
Oh, no. Oh, God. All right,
Derrick Jaxn says.
I didn't want to that as well.
I'm driving the boat. I'm U-turning away the fuck from that.
The thing is, though, because relationships are so complex, like, don't be taking advice from somebody you don't know in it. There's not one rule for all in it. It's not a one size fits all. You get what I'm saying? You can't.
It's a crock of shit, like type of reality. Reality.
Yeah, I mean, say they're so complex and there's so many variables. To be taking advice from one person from one book is wild. That's wild.
100%. And I think that Melissa Fredericks, who is Kevin Frederick's wife, also known as Kev on Stage, and she also goes by Mrs. Kev on Stage. Kev on Stage is a famous comedian. She said something that was fantastic on her podcast with her husband, is that, like, you know what? Let me pull it up because I don't want to say it wrong because it was perfect. Talk amongst yourself while I find it.
Yeah, no stress.
Hey, I'm fucking battered, you know.
Yeah, good to know. It's good to know.
Absolutely fucking battered.
That's why I enjoy doing these shows, man, isn't it? Because we can just switch from a serious topic to saying absolutely hilarious and then go back and talk about a network special.
Yeah. I love that at any point in the future when we're drinking together, if you are an actual dickhead, which you are on a regular, I can go, that wasn't you, was it, Michael? That was Derrick Jaxn.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
I found the
Derrick Jaxn just came out.
Derrick Jaxn.
I'm not okay with it.
Ever.
So I found the quote. So Mrs. Kev on Stage, aka Melissa Frederick, said something that really just was a perfect summation of it, of people like Derrick Jaxn, not just Derrick Jaxn himself, but it is predatory to capitalize on the feelings of single women who have been socialized to aspire to marriage and exploit those feelings for profit. It is predatory. And I honestly believe that. Like, all of you that have audiences, all of these relationship gurus, their audiences are single people, because they're not talking to necessarily married people. Like, because once you're married, you feel like you have that thing, right? And then there are lots of resources out there to help you keep that marriage, maybe counseling and all that kind of stuff. But all of these gurus, relationship gurus, a lot of the time they're speaking to single women. And it's that thing of, women have been socialized to aspire to marriage. That's what you're supposed to do. You get to a certain age, you marry, have kids. The patriarchy does that. So even when you're pushing against it, you still in the back of your mind feel like that's what I need to get to. That's the level I need to get to. And these people, these relationship gurus come in and they capitalize on that. They make their money, they get their fame, they get what they need from saying whatever it is that you want to hear, or, you know, doing whatever it is that it takes to have these messages come out to you. And Melissa Fredericks was 100% right. It's predatory. And I hope that he gets everything coming to him. And that's all I want to say about Derrick Jaxn. He's a prick, basically.
I think that type of attitude in general needs to be pointed out more, because it doesn't in any form of media at all. Like, it's a weird place where if you're a guy, you you don't really notice it. As we talked before we went live, guys don't really notice shit unless it affects them.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just the fact because we want an easier life. I think that's the bottom of it. It's just like we just want to do the bare minimum. And until that is pointed out that is wrong, it's not going to change.
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue with these type of things. Like, it's the same with Dear Deirdre columns or Dear John or whatever. All these trashy bollocks in media, well, in newspapers, basically. It needs to stop.
It does. You're 100% right. Some other things that happened in March. Chrissy Teigen left Twitter.
This one surprised. Well, no, it didn't surprise me.
Well, she's very nice and just, pretty innocent in posting her stuff. Sometimes comes at like politicians, mostly just Donald Trump.
She snaps back a bit.
She snaps back, and people love her for it for the most part. But she does come under fire a lot. She came under fire for posting about her miscarriage. She came under fire for a lot of stuff. But one thing that she did come under fire for this month in particular was posing with her son. There was a picture where she's giggling and her son stood in between her legs and she's holding like her boobs back. She's topless. She's got some kind of weird bottoms on or whatever, but she's kind of doing this to cover her boobs. And then like she's laughing and her son stood there and people had this. That's my opinion, but people had this weird reaction to it.
She went with it.
I can't remember.
I can't remember the caption. All right, no stress.
But even does it really matter what the caption is?
I'm saying that added to it. If I remember correctly, people was responding. Obviously, I'm waving
to the caption.
People were also responding to the picture. It was the caption as well. If I remember, I could be wrong. That's why I asked them that. But like I said,
I would argue it's just the same case as anything. It's people seeing someone that they don't think that should be having that type of lifestyle. Nice, happy, comfortable lifestyle, and want to dig shit on them. And that's all that is. Because from when I saw that picture, and I was just like, that just seems like a really nice, happy family picture. I weren't offended or anything by it. Like, it's
a business, isn't it?
That's it, though. Yeah. This feels more to me like far left than far right. Do you know what I mean?
It's been the right one gone after her, though, isn't it?
But that's what initially when you've just said it there, because I've not seen the original thing.
It's okay. See, I don't know about these people. I don't even know what far left or far right.
So originally when you've said it there, it felt like it was more overly sensitive than racially motivated.
It wasn't. I don't think it was necessarily racially motivated with Chrissy Teigen.
It was more. It was a female showing love to someone who.
No, I think their issue with Chrissy is that she is this pretty girl having a privileged lifestyle with some money, famous husband who's a musician, and she had the audacity to put her politics on Twitter. I think that's what the culmination is. I think it's just like they've watched her, particularly over the last, of the 4-year presidency that Donald Trump had. She was going at him constantly. Yeah. Whenever he'd do stupid stuff, which was every day. So she was constantly every day tweeting stuff about the Trump presidency, about what, the Republicans were allowing to happen. And I think for right-wingers, it was the fact that she had the audacity to do that. And they felt like you don't even have the brains to have a conversation, shut up. And then when people have the brains, they still call them biased. They still have a reason. But with her, I think that's mainly what it was. I'm not sure that it's necessarily racial, to be honest with you. But a lot of people, it seemed.
I wouldn't say it was racist, but I would say it was genderist. It was more about her being it was more about her being a female expressing herself. Really, it's more about that.
Well. There is definitely pretty privilege. You get a lot more stuff when you're prettier in terms of our society, or when you're deemed prettier by society, definitely. But you do also come under fire whenever you try to have an intellectual conversation or an important conversation. I think people just dismiss you when you're seen as pretty in society. So she was a model for a long time. So it's like people always kind of like dismiss her, like, we don't know what you're talking about. And I think that's
why no one listens to me.
Of course, 100%.
Facts. I was just about to
look at me and go, look at that guy. That guy should be the Prime Minister, but he's too fucking good looking.
That's what it is. People like pretty privilege, innit?
Not that he's got a very dubious past.
Yo, your surname is good. That tells you all you need to know, fam.
Yeah, but he's good enough.
Always. Look at me.
Tell him again, man. What's your good, man?
Look at me.
So let's give Mike his flowers and that. Mike G.
Mike his flowers.
Don't, my ego can fucking take it, to be honest. Let's face it.
Mike motherfucking G. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Linda's not having it. She's like, can you man shut up?
No. I'm just thinking about. I'm looking at all the topics we still got to do, and I don't want to go over them. Some of them are too problematic, and I just can't be asked.
All right, cool.
Of course, it's like 25:1, so I don't want to be on
it. I don't want to be going. We've already done over 2 hours.
Can we just do the ones that have got silver linings that we can just drink?
I will. That's what I'm looking for now. So yeah, we'll leave that one as it is.
That one and that one.
Yeah, it's weird though. I do want to just point out, it's weird. Don't talk about like it being inappropriate. That's a mother and a son. Like he ate from them boobs.
Yeah.
Like, get over it. Get the fuck over it. It's weird that you're pointing that out. It's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, people want to complain. That's why.
You're the weird one for pointing that out. Let's be honest. In my opinion. Anyway. Jennifer Curry admits a 4-year affair with serial love cheat Boris Johnson. Yes, not talk to me. Silver lining. I don't think there is one. Let's move on.
I don't know. No, because
massive corruption and he spent public funds on her. No, there's no.
£126,000.
Shut up.
But there's no magic money tree. Theresa May.
Please talk about this tomorrow. Please talk about this tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
We will. Chet Hanks.
Oh, White Boy Summer.
White Boy Summer.
So every summer. When I saw it on the back of a white vest. I saw a White Boy Summer. I was like, that just looks like white. It's too white pridey for anyone to get on board with.
Well, here's the thing. I want to just I would like to put the picture out and he put this on his Instagram and he was like, this is the merch that we are doing for White Boy Summer. And honestly, it really does look very white supremacy.
Well, I didn't realize that was his actual merch when I saw it, but it is all of the white pride that any summer fascist needs, apparently.
It's so neo-Nazi, it's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, why would you use that font? What and not just like a playful, like Joe, like a playful.
What in the caucasity is going on here? What is this? What have I?
Alan's new merch line.
What in the?
What is going on here?
That was the new merch line.
What is going on here?
Chet Hanks is a massive wang who thinks he can speak patois and produce merch like that and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Hey, God.
The scary thing is, though, he probably will still make.
No, he's made a fortune off it.
That's what
he's made a fortune off it.
That's fucking frightening.
I guess the silver lining there is that
Tom Hanks is a don.
His dad is Tom Hanks. His dad is Tom Hanks. There's a silver lining. That's all we got.
No, because that makes me hate Tom Hanks.
You cannot hate Tom Hanks.
Oh, how can you hate Woody? You know what I'm saying? Forrest Gump.
Because
how can you hate the guy from the Burbs?
Because man just felt like running, but he just like. I love Tom Hanks, but that clearly says failed as a father.
Moving on. All right, guys.
Move on. Yes, there will be an Arsenal Liverpool watch along kind of devil. Yes.
Absolutely no football talk on this show. Absolutely no football talk on this show. None.
Great segue.
Not even a little bit.
It's not a football thing. I'm just letting the people know what's coming up next.
But that was there, wasn't it?
Don't they do that on shows and that? If you're watching something, they'll be like, this is coming up next.
Linda, stop being so aggressive.
I'm sorry, Alan. Did you just call me aggressive?
An angry black woman? Really, Alan?
Look how he said it with a big grin on his face.
I just went a bit Sharon Osbourne for a minute.
He showered all over the place.
Sharon all over the fucking place.
I just showered for a second.
Listen, that wasn't you. That was Derrick Jaxn. Clearly,
Derrick Jaxn did that.
Did anyone see? I'm ignoring every single one of you and just pretending like you're not here. So, did anyone see the cinnamon toast crunch saga on Twitter?
No, with the prawns, the prawn tails.
Yes. So, producer Jensen Karp, which is hilarious in itself. You couldn't fucking make this up. His surname is Karp.
He's a blue tick journalist as well.
Wait, with his surname being Karp again. This is God's practical jokes, man. In it, first denial, now Karp in it. You know what I'm saying?
It was viral for several days that he found shrimp tails in his cinnamon toast, 2 shrimp tails in his cinnamon toast crunch. So he put the pictures on there and he was just like, oh my God, I found shrimp tails. What the hell's going on? And the company that owns cinnamon toast crunch was like, no, that's got to be like molded together brown sugar. That can't be shrimp tails. There's no way. And he got pissed off. He was like, the fact that you guys are just making it seem like I'm making this up is crazy. And it was just this saga that wouldn't die. There was so many fucking elements to it. It was like constant back and forth. There was like legal action. There was all sorts of things happening.
My favorite part was when they told them to take the fishtails and the box to the police so they can test it for fraud. I was like, what? They did that on a not even a DM, just on Twitter. Take it to the cops and see if they think it's a fraud.
They literally said to him, oh, can you send it over and we'll look at it? And he was just like, actually, after the responses I've been having, I don't trust that you'll admit what it was and you'll just come back and say sugar again. And if I send it to you, I won't have it anymore. I won't have the proof anymore. So then they were like, all right, we'll just take it to the police station and have it analyzed for fraud. And it was just like, wait, what? How did you jump from 1 to 5,000 like that? What the fuck happened? It was the weirdest thing ever. And then it only got weirder. I'm telling you, March was the weirdest month. It only got weirder because then all of a sudden, former partners and colleagues of the writer-producer Jensen Karp came forward on Twitter while all of this was happening, several days after this had been viral for so long, accusing him of abuse.
The fuck?
Man.
It was wild. So like all of these women that had worked with him before or had been his partners before, seemingly well known in the industry, also writers and in the industry, all had blue ticks, a bunch of verified accounts. They were all like, yeah, also if you need to know anything about this guy, like it's all well and good him being viral, but he's a manipulator, he's a liar, he's an abuser. All of this stuff came out and it was just like, this won't stop. It was like a week of madness.
Big Sugar trying to take an innocent man down.
It was 4 days cinnamon toast crunch and then 3 days abuse. It was mad.
Clearly, there was the sugar that made that commentator call them girls the N-word, innit? Clearly, there was something wrong here. It
had to be the shrimp tails mixed with the sugar. Too much.
Clearly, that's what it was.
Cinnamon Graham's that morning. He was like cinnamon toast. He got fish instead, so his sugar was low, and that made him say the N-word.
Mad.
It's just
crazy.
Moving on, guys. Do you guys remember Lil Mama?
Oh,
yeah, I do remember Lil Mama.
That's what I called her.
What? What do you remember? Is it the time she got on the stage with Jay-Z and Alicia Keys, or do you actually
remember
always?
I don't remember her from music.
You actually remember her from music? Does anyone remember her from music?
Did you not hear her?
I thought it was a joke.
What did Alan say? Wait, do I want to know? Do I want to know what Alan said?
Yes, you do. Man said he remembers it from the mattress and the transit.
I can't believe you managed to bring it back to that again. I hate you all.
I remember.
Anyway, moving on.
The transit first.
Moving
on. Yo, this van's stuck in park. Give us a second, Doc. Give us.
Drive. We're gone. We're going.
Back it up the exhaust. Hit me out, right?
We're out. So, Lil Mama.
I remember her from the Breakfast Club interview. That's what I remember her from.
Oh yeah, she cried, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the two things that I remember. She fucking bum rushed the stage when Jay-Z and Alicia Keys were performing Empire State of Mind, and then she cried on the Breakfast Club. Those are the only two things I know about her, except that she is a musician. I've just never heard any of her music. Anyway, after stirring up some controversy, Lil Mama had once shared her views about children being transgender based on Dwayne Wade's child. All of this stuff. She just keeps putting her fucking mouth, like a foot in it constantly. Just says stupid shit all the time. And now is no different. In March, in a post on social media, she said she wants to take things a step further with a heterosexual rights movement.
What does that even fucking mean?
I'll tell you what that means. I'll tell you what that means, guys.
Rights then.
She said that straight people are forced to keep quiet regarding their opinions about the LGBTQ plus community because their comments are taken out of context and misunderstood. So she wrote in this post, "I'm about to start a heterosexual rights movement. Y'all fight so hard to be respected, and some, in capitals, of you, not all in capitals, get a kick out of bullying people for having an opinion. How they dress, how their hair and or makeup looks, how much money they have, etc. There are so many people afraid to give their honest opinion because if they do, the LGBTQ plus will hear what they want to hear and take statements out of context. I don't have to prove myself by reminding people that I have loved ones in the LGBTQ plus community. When I speak, I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I'm just speaking the truth, just like you all."
What a con.
Wow.
Here's the thing. Like, why are you talking about them? Like, just leave the LBGT community alone. I know I just butchered that, but leave them alone.
Again, flawless. I'll say again, she's a cunt. She's just being a twat for being the twat and doesn't understand that if you've got bigoted opinions,
yes,
you're allowed to be called a bigot for having them shitty opinions. Like,
alone. Why are you talking about the community and that? Leave them alone.
It's got nothing to do with you. Shut the fuck up.
Why are you making comments on them? Yeah, I mean,
leave them.
You know
why?
Leave them alone.
It's the only time people talk about her when she's talking about them.
Yeah, that's true.
No one's talking about Lil Mama without this bullshit. Nobody cares. Who name one Lil Mama song? Name one Lil Mama anything.
I didn't know who the bitch was.
Who cares? Unless
Exactly.
you're doing some crazy shit.
Hey, sentiment, yeah. I've been drinking for like 2 hours and a half.
I can't get when Britain's Got Talent on the end.
He's just trying to be extra inclusive. I don't understand why everyone's giving him an hard time. He's just being the most PC he could be.
Last I checked, I think I know all of the letters.
What is it? Because they added more, didn't they?
No, you don't.
More. Yes, I do. LGBTQIA+.
Plus,
shut up.
Wait,
not kidding. So LGBT, which is lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans,
non-binary.
Q is queer or questioning as well.
Oh, okay.
I is intersex. A is asexual.
Right.
P is pansexual, which is different from bisexual.
It's not really, but okay.
It is. K is kink, so no kink shaming. Okay. And then plus is what hasn't been invented yet, which includes.
So if you get off on shagging as a welly full of like smash, that's what the plus is for.
No, that's K.
That's not gay.
No, that's K.
Okay, kink.
So K is like if you're really into the exhaust
like
of a Renault Clio that's down the road.
Furries. Like furries that like get dressed as little furry animals and have sex with each other.
It's
not shaming.
Yeah.
That's
so
bronies is a kink in
bestiality anymore because it's a human dressed as an animal.
No, bestiality is still very illegal.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's not that. It's a human dressed as an animal, which is a kink. So you're okay now. It's okay. Silver lining.
When did they add all these extra letters?
She was single.
About 2.5 years ago, lad.
Oh, was it? Okay. All right, cool.
She announced that she was single after coming under fire because she had been on her ex's show where she talked about that threesome thing and it went viral and everyone was like, how can you be disrespecting Quavo like this? Blah, 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 blah. What's going on with you and Quavo? And so she kind of came out and was like, look, I don't know her, but in my head, I feel like she wasn't trying to actually tell everyone like all of that detail, but people kept coming at her, which, you know, social media, it's the nature of the beast. And she was just like, you know, I'm single. The love isn't real when the intimacy is shared with other women. And she said, look, I'm good, basically. And then Quavo decided to, without atting her or quoting her tweet, was just like, you know, I didn't think that you were this woman or whatever. You're not the woman I thought you were. I didn't think you would tell people all this shit. He never actually disavowed the fact that he cheated. He never said anything with any of that was wrong. He just didn't know that this was the type of woman that she was, i.e. would say that he cheated, which is interesting to me.
Is that not just part of that weird toxic masculinity around
100%.
around hip hop in general? Like,
yeah, 100%. In the Black community, in the hip hop community, it's huge. And I honestly believe that that's always been my issue with the whole Black men don't cheat movement, because it's a very gaslighty statement. I know Flawless, you like that thing, whatever. But for me, it's like, that's what it stems on, not actually addressing the issue. It stems on covering up the issue and just creating a new thing and just moving on and kind of hiding it in the back. And if you actually refer to that issue, you're the crazy one. Like Sweetie is the person that wasn't, you know, not the person that he thought that she was, because she told the truth, or what? Because you didn't actually say you didn't cheat. You didn't say she lied. You didn't say that any of that was false. What you said was you didn't think that, you know, she's not the woman that you thought that she was. And it's just like, all right, suck a dick. And then she did what I thought was fantastic and just quote tweeted him and said the two words that just fucking shined or shone a beacon for the Hot Girl Summer Part 2, the Revenge of the Hot Girls. And it was, take care. Oh, it's fantastic. And then, you know, the next tweet that she did a couple of days later with her on a fucking magazine spread looking fantastic. Oh, it was beautiful. Don't you think the response to Hot Girl Summer is White Boy Summer, though? That's 100% where Chet got it from. He got it from Megan Thee Stallion saying Hot Girl Summer like 2 years ago. So he's just a weird culture vulture prick. Is that what we're saying? The white guy what speaks strictly in patois in front of cameras. The white guy that does videos in patois was actually a culture vulture. Yes, Mike. Yes, sure. So everyone should just disavow that prick and just go, your dad's pretty mint, but you're just a bit of a fucking wang. Exactly. But a video did come out of them having an altercation in the lift, and that was horrible, and I just didn't want to see that. It was from before they broke up, it looks like. She swung at him, and then he grabbed... I was trying to figure that out. She tried to take a Call of Duty case. Apparently he takes gaming very seriously, because he then grabbed it off her again and kind of swung her around, and then they both fell on the floor in the elevator, and he got up. She was still on the ground. She looked like she'd been hurt on her leg or something, because she limped out after. And there's one very telling bit where he looked up at the CCTV and you can kind of see in his face, it was like, shit, there's cameras in here. Yeah. But yeah, it was very weird. It looked like they had a very toxic relationship. So they should just not be together. And I'm very happy that they're not. And I hope they don't get back together. In that the case of all celebrity relationships, basically, they're all just really fucking weirdly toxic. It seems that way. It's all about who's going to get the bigger pop, basically. Who's winning the relationship. It's a horrible thing. Celebrity in general, I feel, is a toxic thing. Worship the art, not the artist. Like, it's a weird thing. But all right. Well, since it is 20-2, I'm just going to run through very quickly the other topics I had, just so that I mention them, because they happened in March, and I just don't want to leave them out. But we can just kind of talk about them very, very quickly. No rants or anything, at least not from me, because mine are very long-winded. I talked about that. Okay. Burger King. So on International Women's Day, they put out Burger King UK specifically. It had to be our country. I don't know this. It had to be our one. They put out a thread that actually started with "Women belong in the kitchen."
Oh, they did the joke, innit?
They did it was a whole joke thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually saw this.
Yeah. Oh my God, Alan, you saw this?
No, he saw it. Fuck me.
I'm dead excited.
You should have just shouted Sarcasm City if you wanted a creative joke for that day. We would have come up with something between the four of us. Just shouted Sarcasm City. We would have come up with
anything would have been better than that.
Like that is just so lazy. It's like they just went into the conference room and was like, "All right, what are we gonna do? Yeah. Women belong in the kitchen. Women's Day. All right, let's go."
I genuinely saw this and went, "Oh no, you fucked up."
Yeah.
Like this is read the room. Like read the room, bro. Like that's not it.
So basically, they came under fire, as you can imagine. So they did a whole thread. Like they thought it would just be really clever to start it with that, so that people would click it. And then they did a whole thread about how they're giving more women jobs in the kitchen and sponsoring more shit and blah blah blah. And it's just like, no, you know what? No, that marketing person just did not get it. It was not right. No. And then it led to, of course, men on the internet feeling super brave, especially, all types of yes, make me a sandwich, and you've never seen a woman in your life. What are you talking about? So then Burger King had to go on the apology tour. So this one that's on the screen right now was, we decided to delete the original tweet after our apology. It was brought to our attention that there were abusive comments in the thread, and we don't want to leave the space open for that. Like when I say I saw it on my timeline, and when I say it was constant, like it was constant, incredible misogyny. It was like a misogyny thread. So it had the bits with Burger King, and then almost every comment underneath that was, haha, this is great. And then some misogynistic bullshit. It was just the worst. It was just
so dead.
All of the toxic people were right there waiting for it.
Yeah. This is the point where I go, why are we allowed to delete stuff? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's because Burger King straight away just went, oh, we've deleted it. We're really sorry. It never existed.
Yeah.
But it existed, though.
Yeah, here's the thing though with them deleting it is like, because it's been screenshotted 1,000 times, it's like you can't deny it was there in it. So I don't really have an issue with them deleting it, because
I don't feel like they should be able to delete it in the first place. Like, own it. If you put it out there, if you was confident enough as a business, as a global entity, to go, yes, our marketing department said this is okay for us to put out there. No one's reviewed it. It's not gone through multiple checks on quality and insurance and RPs and HR. We haven't gone through all those checks. We've just decided to put it on our Twitter. Okay, fucking own it then for the rest of your life.
That's a dickhead intern was put that tweet up, though. Let's face it, yeah.
But that's what I mean. That dickhead intern should have gone through multiple processes before it arrived at that point.
And if just hire one of us to run your thing, man. Jesus Christ, like, we would have done better than this.
Don't be a prick.
Say stupid shit. Yeah. Just don't say stupid shit.
All right. So next topic. Quickly, Timbaland admitted that he married his wife because she reminded him of Aaliyah. Considering he knew Aaliyah from when she was like 16, that's weird as fuck.
Because age ain't nothing but a number.
It's a lot of noncy.
It's so noncy, it's weird.
Why would you tell your wife that, man? Like, sometimes you just gotta shut the fuck up.
What did he tell his wife that? He told the world that in March. He admitted it. He just said it.
Why would you tell the world
that?
Why would you say that?
Why do nonsense just keep outing themselves? It's so weird.
Because that's what he did, wasn't it? He just basically said, I married you because you reminded me of that time when I was a non. Or when I had allegedly noncy feelings.
I appreciate the joke, lad. I don't know if it's the place or time for it, but I appreciate the joke.
Alan really is the talent of the show, This guy has me cracking up every month without fail,
A couple of weeks ago, I was on the Red Line Picture Live. We did speak about, women and how they're treated in society, but we kind of focus on the art side of things. It was just in the sort of wake of the Sarah Everard vigil, but obviously that inspired a lot of women to discuss issues that they have been through online, and also to kind of shine a light on stories that didn't go as viral as that particular story, to kind of shine a light on police misconduct, police choosing not to, prosecute people or even look at the case or even try and find what's happened to particularly Black women, but also Asian women as well and other women of color. Just kind of shining a light on all the failings basically that have happened in society with women. And so of course, men being men decided to do a hashtag not all men, and that's great. And they were backed by
fucking idiots, man.
Very Jesus all lives matter. Very all lives matter.
Yeah, one in the
that's exactly
same.
what it was.
Same.
If you did a Venn diagram, it'd be 100%. You're all in the
same all lives matter, dickhead.
100%.
It's not all men.
And so, but what pisses me off is that on International Women's History Month, it's just like, you know, it's clear that, you know, a lot of women have internalized misogyny. I've certainly exhibited it in times in my life, particularly when I was younger. And it's it's a very real thing, internalized misogyny. And it just pisses me off when somebody I really caped for or liked in general will just go out and throw themselves out the fucking window for what? I don't even know for what. But Davina McCall.
Oh, I saw this dickhead.
You know, Davina McCall, go suck your mum, because honestly,
when I saw it, I thought it, but I didn't want to say it. But
Davina McCall, SYM, you know, mad.
I just need for you to just never speak on anything again. I loved you on Big Brother. I was a big fan. I like you on all the Garnier Nutrice or whatever adverts about I like, you know, I was just a fan. And then you had to come out and talk about, you know, like, it's not all men. Are we talking about an issue that affects women in society, or are we trying to cater and coddle men are doing the wrong thing? We need to pick a struggle, because I need for you to not be that grown talking about you have to cover your grays to then also be coming out the window. That's stupid on Twitter. You have to pick a struggle. It really pisses me off. And Davina, shut your face. I'm sick of it. All of you, not all men people, I'm sick of you. And, you know, just man, the women's families, the women who have died, their families, the women who had passed away, and then their bodies were, you know, police officers took pictures of their bodies and shared them in WhatsApp groups and made jokes. Even Sarah Everard's remains, she had to be identified by her dental records, which is how badly she was abused. And even the police officer that was in charge there took pictures and sent memes and said all sorts of weird shit in his WhatsApp group. It's sick. It's disgusting. It is not the place for not all men. It is not the place for all of you pick-me bitches that decide to have something to say onto it. And nobody gives a shit about your opinion. Shut up. If you don't have anything constructive to say, shut your fucking mouth and go sit down and suck a dick. No one cares. And that's all I have to say about that. Yeah, you know, police officers doing all types of shit. There's a history of police bloodlust. 2 officers were arrested last summer after taking pictures of Nicole Smallman and Bieber Henry after they were found stabbed to death in a London park and sharing those pictures on a WhatsApp group. Fuck the police always. In the States, Vanessa Bryant is naming, shaming and suing the officers who took photos of Kobe Bryant's remains at the site of the helicopter crash. And not only did they take the pictures, but they legit started showing them off to friends and strangers. One of the witnesses in her suit against one of the deputy sheriffs or whoever was literally a barman. This sheriff's deputy was so proud of the picture that he took of Kobe Bryant remains that not only did he show it to his friends, but he was at a bar that night. He was like, I've got pictures of Kobe's dead fucking body. Look. And showed it to a barman, a stranger. He was that proud. He was that proud.
If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about power and how it corrupts ethics of people, I don't know what does. Literally, take it out of in being a celebrity and them being cops. Just think about it.
Sorry.
Oh, it is. As a white person, I find it annoying. I don't know how people of colour deal with it. And then it comes into the whole, it's just an angry black person.
When I tell you it's every day, when I tell you it is every day. If it's not a microaggression in the workplace, it is some weird shit that somebody you've known a long time says, and you just think, what the fuck? A friend. It's some It's something you see on Twitter when you turn on your phone. It's something in the news. It's something the government publishes, like a report, which we'll discuss tomorrow at 3:00. It's just it's every fucking day.
I will say something, Linda Lowe. When you was on the Red Lion Picture podcast not last week, the week before, and Alan was talking about how racist the Oscars are and how we, as white people, didn't perceive it until you look into it.
Yeah,
I think it is a lot of, you don't want to be shaming people who generally are just trying to struggle along in their own self and don't realize it until it's pointed out.
There's an awful lot of ignorance and uneducation.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get past.
I would class myself as a fairly well-educated person. Like I'm not fucking thick. I'm not super intelligent, but I understand things. And I'll go out on my way to understand other points of view and the things that I don't understand, which is where I'd got to with the Oscars, where I'd gone.
That's what I was trying to get across.
Actually really didn't realise that, but I looked into it and then looked into it and it was like, this isn't right.
Shit.
Like, that's not okay. Do you know what I mean?
But it is that, like, to be fair, like, it's by design. So that, you know, it's 100% by design so that the people that are in power can stay that way and can hoard as much wealth as possible. Ultimately, that's the end goal. It is by design. And I think that now is a good time for the people who genuinely don't feel that hate in their heart to learn about these things, whether it will be something small, you know, and that's why these resources are great. These podcasts and conversations and things like that are great, because it is conversations that maybe people would never have thought to know, like to even think about. It might give people resources, books to read, websites to visit, whatever, which is ultimately good. And that's why I always place the majority of the blame on people in power, because they're the ones with the responsibility. They're the ones that are misusing it and manipulating everyone else. You know, it's always going to be a case of, we always want people to be super smart and to think for themselves. But the nature of humanity is the masses will do as they're told for the most part. Right? That's just how it is. You have more followers than you have leaders. That's nature. That's how we're designed. So I think it's a case of, yes, there are some blame to be put on the followers. There are some blame to be put on the ones that are particularly hateful, that are going out and doing things extra, that are, you know, saying things that they know they shouldn't be saying, etc. But ultimately, the blame lies on those leaders who take on those positions of power and then manipulate the masses, and then, you know, incite all sorts of craziness and hold things back, hold education back and knowledge and information, and do all of these things to make you keep them in power and use yourself to do the wrong thing, or to work yourself in a way that's going to keep them wealthy. So the blame ultimately lies with them. But I think that there is a little bit of individual responsibility that's to be held here. In the age of information, the least you could do is listen to why people are saying what they're saying. The least
can I call that as a silver lining? Because we've not had one in a while.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Fuck it, yeah.
It needs people to realise.
Another silver lining. We're about to get to another one. So Julie Burchill.
Is this the last one? Because I need to go.
Yeah.
Yo, and you lot get us to 50 likes as well, man. We're at 47.
This is it.
3 more, man. Get us to 50.
So Julie Burchill, right-wing commentator for Telegraph.
Prick.
I think it's a Telegraph. Who does she write for? I think it is a Telegraph.
You already said you just did right wing and went prick.
Yeah,
no, she is actually a prick. She's a total prick.
No,
she works for Telegraph.
I'm sure she is, but it's just how quickly Mike got there that just made me laugh.
She had to pay substantial damages and apologize publicly to Ash Saka for making defamatory and racist remarks. So, shit got really real for Julie. Julie did what right wingers do and got on that Twitter and said all kinds of crazy shit. About Ash, because she just doesn't agree with her.
Oh, no, it wasn't because she didn't agree with her. It's because she's an Islamophobic cunt.
No, yes, there's that. But she used the fact that she doesn't agree with her to then launch this attack, which then revealed her true purpose, which is that she is exactly what you said, Mike. and all types of racist, misogynist, Islamophobic bullshit.
Horrible.
Constantly. And Ash said, you know what? Because she gets attacked every day. I even asked Ash one time, I said to her on Twitter, I was like, I don't know how the fuck you do this. And she said, Linda, I drink. I said, fair. I said, fair enough.
I genuinely really like the woman. I don't know how she does it, honestly.
Because she gets attacked every single thing she
horribly
posts. Like there will be 2, 3, 4, 5 replies in the first 5 minutes saying, yeah, you're awesome. And then 50, you're all types of, you don't even like people. You don't even like people. You're a racist. You're a Muslim this, and you're a this, and you're that.
Race baiter is the one I hear the most.
Crazy.
You're a race baiter. I'm like, she's a communist. How the fuck are you a race baiter if you're a communist? I don't get it.
Like, who is it? Just, let me just
Navarro Media. She's done a bit for The Guardian, bits for The Telegraph. She's been on what was Piers Morgan's old channel called, the old thing called Good Morning Britain. She's done the bits on Sky News and stuff. So she was
her name?
Ash Sarkar.
ASH and then
SAKA.
Yeah, she's blue.
No, SARKAR. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's wild to see someone which is just literally a single person's opinion. That's all it is.
Because she has the audacity.
So violently attacked by every single side. It's unbelievable.
She has the audacity to get onto mainstream TV and give an opposing opinion to the very, very right-leaning press right now. She has the audacity to go on BBC shows, ITV shows, and argue with the best of them and give points. She had to literally say, I'm literally a communist.
I'm literally a communist, you idiot. Which is literally the best 6 seconds of telly on ITV ever.
Those words shot her to infamy. And ever since then, she has been attacked daily. She is attacked constantly on social media. And it is with people with verified tics, like Julie Burchill, who then had to put out a long tweet. Apologizing, admitting that she used Islamophobic tropes, admitting that her remarks were misogynistic and racist, apologizing, and she had to pay substantial damages. You know, that means money, and that is a silver lining right there. Ash got
beautiful.
Paid. Guys,
Ash got paid. A single beautiful Asian woman got paid. Happy for it.
She got paid. It wasn't all for nothing, and her legal fees were paid, so she didn't have to pay that, which is amazing. There was a bunch of other stuff that happened that really I just don't want to. I don't want to speak about them, to be honest.
I'm too pissed to talk about it at this point.
It's
anyway,
too late. It's 2 a.m. We're done. March was a crazy month. I'm hoping that April will be less crazy, but then I just put 2 topics on my list for April today. So it's a madness. April's already acting.
Tomorrow's going to be tomorrow's politics podcast is going to be hilarious.
This is a good thing because obviously with the what's politicking you off on Saturday at 3:00.
Come on, Alan.
Let's go.
You can scratch some stuff off the monthly show.
Yeah.
Unless you really want to talk about it with people that aren't politic minded. No,
the stuff I've got for April has nothing to do with politics and everything to do with how mental we all are. So
shit.
Yeah. Already,
politics is it should be
second, guys. Well, technically the third now because it's 2 a.m. But yeah, it's mad. It's actually mad how much I've already got stuff for April. So
3 hours just over.
There's more stuff that I didn't cover. I want to just do a quick shout out to Lil Nas X. I don't fuck with all that Satan stuff and blood in your shoes, but I'm so happy you're pissing me off.
I do.
I am so
that money.
People off.
Get that money for insulting people's imaginary god.
I love that you pole dance from heaven to hell. I love that you were twerking on the devil. I love all of it. I don't fuck with any of that. I'm just so happy that you're pissing all of the people that made you feel like shit, all of the people that make a lot of people in the LGBTQIA PK+ community feel like shit and suicidal and all of the rest of it. Yeah. I love that you are pissing them off. Piss them off every day. Troll them every day. He is a barb. He is a former barb, so you will not win against him on the internet, which I love. I love it.
I genuinely want Lil Nas X to do a time travel show where he goes back just to piss people off in time with his gayness. It'd be incredible. I'd be all for it. Beautiful. Like Bill and Ted's Magical Adventure, like Fabulous Adventure, and I'll be all about it.
What's Rainbow Road?
What's fantastic about Lil Nas X is this young black gay man had the audacity to do country when they all told him he couldn't, and he just went diamond with Old Town Road. Diamond 3 times. It was crazy, right? And so he did that with Old Town Road, and then he came back and he said, you know what, I'm going to create a bop because Call Me By Your Name, that Montero song, is actually a bit of a bop. I've been listening to it a lot, and then the video is crazy. It's not for me. It's not. I watched it once and I was good, but I will admit I watched the video. I love it. The video's top. I will say there are elements of it that I absolutely love, but the thing that I love the most about the video is that it pisses all of you off. And why are you mad? Huh? People of free speech, why are you mad? Is it because you lot keep telling these people they're going to hell? He went to hell. He killed the devil. He twerked on the devil and then killed the devil and took over. Now what? You told him he was going to hell. He's in hell.
That's mad. You know what it is though? Someone made a great point. Like, these are the same people, some of the same people who let their kids and others and are happy to celebrate Halloween. And secondly, if we think back to South Park, and someone pointed up, and I forgot about how crazy it was. Saddam Hussein was in a whole relationship with the devil.
And we're fine.
Saddam Hussein was getting bummed on a daily
basis. So South Park was a weekly show, people. You know what I'm saying? And he's there lying in bed and pillow talking with the devil.
Sentiment, a barb on the internet. So what I mean by that is Nicki Minaj has a fan base called the Barbs and the Ken Barbs, and they are insane. They are the most ruthless. They're notoriously ruthless on social media for being the most insane fan base. They attack everyone. They're used to being attacked. They're all crazy. So Lil Nas X, as he was younger, he grew up as a barb. He was huge barb, and he was very, very used to trolling. He trolled a lot. He got trolled. He's very used to it. So what I meant by that is everything that all these right-wingers are doing, everything that all of these very super Christian people are doing, I put Christian in quotes because none of you are actually following the teachings of Jesus, but that's a conversation for another day. All of these people, he's trolling them to death, and there is literally nothing that any of them can do. There is nothing that any of them can do that will get to him because he is a barb. He is used to it. He was raised on trolling. You cannot out troll a barb, and he is a chief barb. So that's what I meant by that, a barb on the internet.
And big up to 44 bouncing. He said he's shouts from Australia. Love to everyone across the world.
Love to everyone watching.
Somebody else said they were watching from Malaysia. Big up.
I saw the Malaysia one before.
Yeah, man, we worldwide out here. You get me?
I
from
love
Malaysia to Manchester. We are here. You get what I'm saying? And that. Love to everybody locked in.
My topics, I have some serious topics that I don't want to discuss. So my topics are done. We have been going for 3 hours and 4 minutes. So I think that's enough for March. March was a mad month, but there was some good bits, some highlights. Beyonce did everything. Blue Ivy did everything. Megan Thee Stallion. Everyone's good, in my opinion. We can do this.
Love to you lot for locking in. Like I said, the Talk About It Network special you get the last Friday and Saturday of every month. So the last Friday or Saturday of April, you will get the April roundup with myself, Longhaired Linda, Mike, Alan. Hopefully Nick will be about. Hopefully I can get JV and Stro on as well. Hear me Talk About It Network special. Like I said, click the playlist. You can. All the shows are like this. So if you think this is crazy, this is the regular crazy. Go on.
I'm so sorry. I just remember something. Okay. Shout out to the witness in the Derrick Chauvin trial, who was giving Derrick Chauvin's lawyer shit. It was amazing. He was like, "So did you call Derrick Chauvin? Did you call the officer
a bum?
Fucking pussy ass bum?"
Yeah.
Is that what you heard? Is that what you heard on the video? Is
that what I said?
Is that what I said? I guess that's what I said. Oh my God, he was the best. That video was amazing. If you haven't seen it, go on Twitter, type in Derrick Chauvin.
I've never wanted to fist bump someone so much in my life.
Amazing.
Whoa. Because I need to watch this now.
Derrick Chauvin. Convict him. Teach these police officers that they cannot do the type of shit that they are doing. Convict him. And even if they don't,
film cops at every opportunity.
You know what? Fuck convicting him, man. Man gotta go in it. You gotta go in it. Fuck all this convicting shit in it.
No. Flawless. We are on the internet. Convict. The words we're using are convict.
Yeah. Fuck cops.
Okay.
Film cops at every opportunity.
Yeah. You're right, convict. Yeah, you're right, convict. But yeah, people, Talk About Network special. We go live the last Friday and Saturday of every month, wrapping up the month. Make sure you give long hair Linda her flowers for all the topics she brings.
Thanks.
Yeah, make sure you lot do that. Make sure you follow her on Twitter and Instagram also. I'll let you give your socials out, Linda.
Well, they're different. On Instagram, I'm on private, so I might not accept if I don't know you. But Twitter, at Linda is Shapoopy. Shout out to Family Guy. I love that show. Problematic as fuck. Love it. Linda is Shapoopy on Twitter, and that's chat to me there or whatever.
Like I said, she's tagged in the tweet anyway. So when you see me, make sure you follow her. Make sure you follow Mike, Alan, Nick, the whole Red Lion Picture gang. Pod of Mercy will be back at some point soon as well, so you get to see Linda more often than that. Make sure that's not shade. I'm just me saying how highly I rate you and that I want the show
tomorrow 3 o'clock.
And tomorrow 3 o'clock.
What's politicking you off on the Sarcasm City channel? Me, Mike, Lambs. And Bobby Bobs.
Bits and Bobs, yes.
Bits and Bobs will be on. Bits and Bobs couldn't make it last time, so it'll be good to have the discussion with him. We are going to be talking about all the shit that's been happening over the last couple of weeks in politics. Come by. I'm not drinking. It's going to be more of a lemon and ginger. Try and calm my shit down. And try to have discussions about what's really happening in a fun way, and hopefully you'll learn something. Please come along and share your views, and we'll try and answer your questions and shit on the show as well.
There you go, people. So yeah, not only do you get What's Politicking You Off at 3 p.m. After that, you get the Leicester City versus Manchester City live watch along, and then after that, you get the Arsenal versus Liverpool live watch along, and then after that, you get the Sarcasm City podcast. So we're literally live the whole day.
Shit.
Literally live the whole
24-hour live right there.
Literally, we're live the whole day. So not only are you getting a politics show, you're getting 2 watch-alongs and then Sarcasm City also. And then Sunday is the same, innit? Like, we don't really stop. You get the Manchester United watch-along, and then you get the Sarcasm City Sports Q&A. And Gyardam City might be going down tomorrow as well. So yeah, like I said, the upcoming live stream section is there. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Sarcasm City TV is rolled to 2,500 subscribers. We're under 100 away now, so let's do that, and then it's road to 3K, man. Love to you lot supporting from wherever you're supporting from, like, much appreciated. We're going to continue to provide the content. Anything you three want to add before we dip?
Can you read that?
Yeah.
It says, "Fuck the Tories."
Fuck the Tories.
I like that. I was thinking, why is she showing? I like that still. Anything you don't want to add?
I would say what Ring says.
I would just like to refer to Linda's ring and leave it at that.
Okay, excellent. And this has been the Talk About Network special March edition on Sarcasm City TV. Thank you very much for tuning in.